Yeah, a very good morning, whoever joined from United States, and good evening from India. Thank you for all registering with us and joining for this session. We are all welcoming to KKR Gen Ai today, how to prepare for a jobs demo. So the plan and agenda is there are like 8 to 10 mentors who dedicatively working with us from last 2 years. So they are going to share their experience, like how they prepared for AI jobs and how they landed in AI field. So with that, conversation or discussion may help to hundreds of people here. So this session will be recorded and will be shared to everyone. You don't need to, ping and request us. So it will be, shared to everyone in the YouTube, or maybe we ping, like we share over the email. So the coming 2 hours, there is a dedicated to experience sharing by architects, and there are people who join and share their experience from product owner side. There are people from developers, senior developers, and non-developers. There are like a non-coders also who placed recently, and recently, I mean, last 1 year, from the MNCs, they come and share their experiences. So we feel like it should help to everyone. And also we share our the strategy, how we mentor all the students in the next 100 days. So normally we give a training for 100 days with different aspects and different strategies. So we give in two parts, like part one and part two. In part one, we cover all the basics across the AI concepts, and part two is completely advanced AI, where we cover projects and agentic frameworks. So these things will be we explain next 10 to 15 minutes. So without any time waste, so I will hand over to my presenter Aparup. Aparup, please go over and explain what we cover as part of our program.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Hey all, thank you for joining today's session. We are going to see how to prepare for AI jobs in the next 2 hours. So, my name is Aprup, and I'm a product owner at KKR Gen AI Innovations, managing a couple of projects. So, I also teach classes on no-code AI tools. So, I've been teaching since the last 3 batches, and it's been a great journey at KKR Gen AI. So, coming to today's agenda, I'll be giving you the company overview, and then our mentors will come and teach their experiences, share their experiences, and also we have Q&A session at the end. So, coming to KKR Gen AI Innovations, till now we have conducted 5 batches. So, currently, fifth batch is going on. At global level, we have trained 1,500 plus students from different streams. So, we have delivered 25 plus POCs and projects for all the different industries. So, currently, we are dealing with one of the active project, and we delivered two real-time SOW projects to legal and healthcare clients. So right now we are actively working for one project, and we are expecting two more projects in the upcoming month. And we follow 3 steps usually. So we give complete training for all the professionals, students, and kids. So once the training is done, we guide students on developing POCs and projects which help them to gain more hands-on experiences. And if anyone is really interested, or if anyone is performing well in our trainings or POCs, we place them in our real-time client projects so that they'll be getting exposure to the real-time AI projects under our guidance. And all the recorded sessions will be given access in the Zoom recordings. We give access to the Zoom cloud, and also they will be given in the sequential order. So if you miss the class, you will get the opportunity to take a look at the recorded sessions. And all the projects and POCs are placed in our GitHub. So I'll be going to show the GitHub repos. So you'll get a better idea on how we share the projects to the students. And also students can access them and start building the projects so that they'll gain the hands-on experience. And coming to the projects we have built, we have been working on different projects since last 6 months. The first one we developed was Tourist GPT, which has been successfully delivered to the client. And one more was AI Healthcare Navigator. And right now we are currently working on laundromat automation. And also we are signing one more project in this upcoming month. So whoever joins our training sessions, they'll get an opportunity to go through the real-time projects with us. And we have the LinkedIn and official website where you can explore all the events and also the current updates on the upcoming batches, projects, and also you can access the free bootcamp videos on our YouTube channel. And we are starting our new upcoming batch 6, and it will be starting in April. And we are conducting free boot camps in upcoming month. And also, if you are interested, and you can join and enroll for the upcoming batch, and we'll reach out to you with the complete information. And there is no restriction. Anyone from IT who want to switch to AI, and anyone from non-IT is welcome to join our classes. So we'll teach everything from end to end during our training. Even for kids between 8 to 6 years, they can join our classes and explore the training sessions. We also have hands-on sessions conducted in our office based in Alpharetta. You can also come here and explore the real-time experience of our classes and projects. So you'll get the better idea about how we approach our training sessions. I'll quickly walk you through about our GitHub, and also then I'll walk you through our LinkedIn channel and YouTube channel. So you can just go and have a look at it and explore the videos and also the upcoming boot camps over there. So this is our GitHub where we place all the projects which has been developed by our students, and also we have the real-time projects. Once you enroll with us, we give access to all the GitHub repos so that you can explore the code and also explore the project about how we built each and everything. So we have around 20 to 25 projects placed in GitHub. So you can just go through everything, so you'll get a better idea about all the GitHub projects that we have been giving to the students. So whoever is interested, once the course is done, we'll give guidance to prepare the projects right from before. So under our guidance for 1 to 2 months, you can build a complete project and you can just explore them, and you can just show them in your portfolio or LinkedIn. So these are the projects that been developed by our students, and you can also see our real-time projects, Juris GPT, a health navigator, dryer cleaner projects, and we also have some of the medical prediction app. So you can just go through once you enroll with us. And also, if you want the updated information about the boot camps and all the information about our upcoming classes, we post everything on our KKR Gen AI Innovations LLC LinkedIn page, where you can just go through everything about all the updates that is being given to all the students or the people, whoever is on LinkedIn. So you can just find our page in LinkedIn as KKR Gen AI Innovations LLC. And we have the new website coming up live this week, where we'll be posting all the information and also the events that is being coming up in the future. And we'll give all the access to the students and also admins, where they can access to the recorded sessions once they are done. You can explore all the POCs that is being developed by us in the website, and also the course structure, course curriculum. You can just walk through everything once you have the access to all the information. So we post all the events here, and also you can find our information, and also you can inquire about whatever the questions you have. Once you just fill up this form, we'll just reach out to you and give all the information so that you can just get the better idea about our approach. So this is our YouTube channel. This is where you can just go through all the free bootcamp videos. You can just subscribe to this YouTube channel. You'll get all the free bootcamp videos and also the updates regularly on our YouTube channel. So we have uploaded a lot of videos since last year. We have been uploading all the complete bootcamp videos and also the free videos where you can just explore the videos to get a better idea about how we are teaching and what are the topics that is being covered in our particular uh, training sessions. So whatever the projects we do, whatever the POCs we develop, we follow the method in ClickUp. So ClickUp is something which we follow for all the documentation purpose. So I handle the ClickUp and give the access to the students so that they can get the better exposure about how we manage the projects, and also you can explore all the information about the projects here. So we have all the projects placed, and also we have all the information that is placed in one place. So once you get an access, you can just go through all the information here in the ClickUp. And also, so once you get a chance, you can just go through all the information, and also you'll be getting the course plan and everything sent to your emails. And we follow a different approach, like we teach students on complete end to end, right from the basics. So from the Python, and also we teach classes on machine learning concepts, deep learning, and also complete data science concept. Then we go to the generative AI course, so that everyone will get exposure and also get the proper plan, so they can get completely or easily get into the generative AI jobs. And also, we give guidance to all the students and all the professionals who want to explore and journey with us. We are welcoming them to join the hands with us so that you'll get all the information ready to you. So we also have the mentors with us. We have Venkatesh, who is an AI architect. So he will be giving his intro and share his experience on how to prepare for AI jobs, and he will be sharing all the experiences about his projects and everything. So with this, I'm handovering the session to our mentor Venkatesh. So yeah, so I think Venkatesh, you can hand over this session from now.
Yeah, thanks, group. Yeah, good morning and good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining today's session. This was an interesting session as Aprup has walked you through the how KKR is helping the towards the job seekers or job aspirants in terms of to be land into the AI job. So I like in myself, I can say that I was been working from the past 15 years into the industry, and relevant to the 10 years, 10 plus into the AI industry, where I worked with the different industries like in a semiconductor industry and healthcare industry, and with the multimedia. So with the more than in a four industry where I worked with the banking industry as well. So with my experience, I'll just say a few the important tips while you to get into the job. I'll just share my screen. Yeah, first let's talk about the some interesting about the tool. This session, where I wanted to help them for the people from the fresher to the people who are already into the industry with the different skill set, for example Java or .NET, or for the front end developer, or as a QA engineer, or the cloud engineer or DevOps engineer who wanted to be they wanted to be switched to the AI technology. So this is going to be helpful for them, from the fresher to the experienced persons in the industry. So first, it's all begin with the job searching. So with my experience, because where I will be, where I will be visiting for the engineering colleges, who wanted to be get into the software engineer field. First, they will think like that. I wanted to be become a software engineer. So, but which language or which tool I supposed to be prepared for myself, where I will be getting to the specific domain level, because many of we know that the software engineer, the job title itself, but many of them they don't know. Like in the beginner, it's in which programming language which I need to choose. If the programming language, if I choose Python or the Java .NET, so what I would going to be become after the 5 years or after the 10 years, because the particular programming language or the tool which we are going to learn, it will be this particular tool is going to be helpful for to developing the many use cases in the different industries, right? For example, if you take up for Python itself, with the Python, where you can going to be build a website application, as we can call as a full stack developer, or or a web developer, we can say that. And if you are going to learn the some big data tool with the Python, like an Apache or Kafka or Spark, where you are going to call as a big data engineer. And if you are going to learn some machine learning or deep learning or Gen AI, so you will become an AI engineer. So all these three fields, if you see the three fields which I'm saying about the the web developer, or the big data engineer, or an AI engineer. So all these three platforms can be developed with a single tool or single language we call as a Python programming language. So this is where many of the people, they many of the people they will be confused, which language we need to be choose to be to be in a landing the safe path in the next 5 years. Okay, so here we are helping choosing the right programming language. Okay, and so if you are going to take up this language, where you are going to build language, and what are the kind of the job roles are available into the market. Okay, and if you are learning to the specific skill set, so what will be the package you are going to get by end of the the next 4 to 5 years. We will be having a, okay, I want it to be end by next 5 years, it will be 25 lakhs or 30 lakhs where I want it to be land. Okay, or else my initial job should be into the 6 lakhs or 7 lakhs, or where we can talk about 130k USD dollars, if I talk about in the US market as well. So every the graduate, so every job aspirant, they have their the set of the package, and they have the set of the mindset where they want it to be into the next 5 years with the safety, because that's where the security as well. So the security is the most important for them, right? And if I learn today, and the next day or the next year, the particular skill set is it is degraded. So what we do again, going back and learning the new skill, which won't be helpful right here. So the skill set which we choose, it should be available for the next 10 years, where it is going to run for your career. So that's how we want it to be choose here. Even with my initially, where I started with the Java developer, then I essentially have learned Python with myself. When we are into the 2013 and 14, so there were no such as online majority of the online programs here, online platforms Udemy or some other Uploads, or kind of of other upgrade platforms, or some many of the e-learning websites, I can say that, where we are spending with the Stack Overflow, and where we are trying to learn for ourselves with going through the few of the documentations, and with a few of the classes where we wanted to understand, and we wanted to implement those use cases. That's how you know the learning path will start. That's where the self learning which will come, right? So here, when we are learning by ourselves, it takes for at least the weeks or the months you to understand the concepts. Even for myself, in the beginning, when I will writing a one, the Python program, where I will be facing the indentation error. Many of the Python developers knows the indentation error, which is a common problem. The extra spaces when we give, so it will throw it an error saying the indentation error. In the beginning we won't have like in any such like platform where like in how we could be resolve those issues, like what kind of the issues will be come up here. So like in a posting the reaching out to the specific the communities, stack overflow community or within the organization community, to understand and to resolve those issues, and working on developing those functionality. But if we see like in a the 2020 and 22 and 25, like in if we see, there are many of the platforms which is came into the market, and many of them people are they are showing the path like in the AI field. And even we see that like in from 2018, from 2016 to 2020, we see that many of the AI jobs which are coming into the market as well. And in 2022 we can see the chat gpt as an AI platform which is made everyone job easy, like in a many of them the semi level jobs, or like in a kind of bpos or customer care services, like in admin level jobs which is replaced by the AI assistants, right? Even for today also we have here the live space organization where it removed thousands of employee and they replaced with the AI assistants, because the technology is coming. So the people has to adapt the new technologies, right? That's how we were where we are going to be stand ourselves in the market, right? If we won't adapt the new technology up to the market, like then we are gone, right? So we have to learn the new technology, we have to update ourselves in the market as well. For updating ourselves as well, there are plenty of the information are presented in the market, but we don't know which information we need to pick. Because if we read article, each and every article in a day, so we won't get the much time, or we won't get a much information also what to grab here. Because reading is very important. Along with that, we need to apply the use case, we need to apply those functionality, we need to apply those theoretical into the programmatical level. Then only we can say that we are the AI developer or we are the software developer, right? So what we learn, we need to apply into the realistic examples or realistic use cases. Then only we can say that the learning what we have learned, so it will be helpful for the some system. Okay. So now like in a, if I talking to, if I specifically talks to the AI engineer AI platform, so we are looking into the market and we are seeing into the from the many of the our friends or our brothers, okay, many of the our well wishers, they are many of them, they are saying about to choose the AI field, right? Because this is how where it is a boom. And this is the one of the best job which I can say that for the next 10 to 15 years, which we will not need to be fear for our job loss. Okay. So because with this AI you can create multiple application, multiple use cases where it will be helpful for the industry to grow with the economically, and with the fast with the economically in the faster way, right? That's why many of them industries like they are moving towards to the AI technology by adapting. And with the latest tools like we can say the agentic AI and MCP based protocol and Gen AI based technologies, and integrating there into the big data technologies. So all these technologies where the many of them industries are adapting, and they're hiring many of the AI jobs here. So now if you wanted to be become an AI engineer, so what programming language you need to choose? So simply by choosing the just choosing the Python program language, which will be solved for your hundreds of queries. So if you wanted to pass for a 5 minutes in the AI job, or like if you wanted to pass for a like in a some 5 months, or like if you wanted to work some similar different the domain with with the Python programming, where you can develop your website development also, where you can going to develop, you can QI use cases as well, and you can develop some mobile applications as well with a simple Python programming language, where you can develop the different industry use cases as well, different applications as well. Okay. So to become an AI engineer, so begin with the Python programming language. I would suggest to Python is the 80% of the industries they prefer the Python, and 10% of the industry they prefer the R programming language, and the SaaS platform. So learning this Python programming language and R programming language will be helpful for you to career to land into the AI field. And along with that, so see, I'm a like an interviewer panel, like in a where I'll take the interviews for the Gen A fields, Gen A based job roles, and A based the job roles. So when I'm doing the interview for the in the interview, like in where I expect from the candidate, like what are their traditional based the machine learning skills, and how they are going to evaluate themselves, like when they develop their use cases. Okay, and along with that, how you're going to develop, if I give you some business use case, okay, which is not developed, so I wanted you to see some kind of developing from by yourself without taking of any the engineer support, or taking of going with the some kind of the documentation where you want it to be built, when we are when we will expect these kind of questions from the interviews, for the candidates, we will expect answer something, we wanted to understand, so how they're thinking, okay, how they are taking the on decision on the particular situation, how they are going to react, right? So what is their statistical knowledge, so where we are going to understand from the candidate level, and their coding skills with the specifically to the Python programming language, and the business the use cases. So then we will going to decide okay, how it could be fit for the AA role, so based on their the problem solving skills and statistical knowledge, and the the decision making skills. These are the three primary skills which we look from the interview candidates here. So as you as a fresher, as a engineer, as a an experienced engineer, many of the people if they can start with the Python programming language, it won't be sufficient. And even many of them the people which I hear from last 6 months, learning with the Gen AI will be the sufficient for them to land into the AA job here. It won't be because Gen AI is something which is new. Okay, along with the Gen AI, many of the companies, they won't invest only for the Gen AI, because Gen AI is something if you're working for the pharmaceutical industry or in a healthcare industry, so there will be the billions of the data which is available. Okay, and if they wanted to be process those cases, okay, it is kind of huge cost as well. So that's where the the industries or the leaderships, where they will think from the candidate side, where they will be having a traditional based skills as well, in such as machine learning or the deep learning skills also, which is there required. So learning the one skill set which won't be helpful for you to land into the A job. So where you have to learn from the beginning, from the starting from the machine learning and the deep learning, and follow with the Gen AI based technology. And one more, it's not about only the learning through mediums or to going with some documentation. So where you have to apply some the use cases, where you have to show them what type of the vector databases you have used here. So how the different from the POC to the production level, because all the vector database which cannot be used for the production level as well. So we need to understand, because those information you can only say that when you are working in the practical level, when you worked on the real time level, where you will know that the difference between the Chroma vector database and the Azure OpenSearch, and when to use, when not to use, or the kind of the situation based task as well. So so if these are the kind of the skill set which is required here. And for you to start into the AI technology, just start with the Python programming language, and then you can go with the machine learning with the 4 to 5 algorithms. I would suggest the popular algorithm, logistic regression or decision tree, or the bagging and boosting or the random forest will be sufficient. So these 5 algorithms you should be able to capable, saying that by closing the eyes, if someone asks what is maximum depth or minimum depth, how these algorithms will work on the in the mathematical way also, you are able to provide the answer. If you get it the 5 algorithms, that will be sufficient for you to land into the AI job. But you need to see that why the 5 algorithms, like why we cannot use 5 algorithms at a time. Okay, if we use 5 algorithms at a time, what we call, okay, so which algorithm need to be decided on the based on the use cases out of these 5 algorithms itself, where you need to be decided on that. And the deep learning as well, you can learn for the TensorFlow or like in a PyTorch. TensorFlow is sufficient for you to gain the more knowledge, because TensorFlow is a one framework where it will be helpful for the production level deployment. And into the Gen AI, so in Gen AI, you can choose one cloud system, either Amazon, AWS services, or Azure based platform is also fine. So in Amazon, where you can learn the AWS Bedrock services. So AWS Bedrock services is completely helpful for you to be, to make them the experiments for the LLM use cases or the Gen AI based use cases, even for the Azure AI services here, like in a GPT-4, GPT-5, all together into the Azure platforms or OpenAI platforms, I can say that. And if you learn from these Python and the machine learning, like and as I mentioned here, TensorFlow, PyTorch, and Scikit, so that will be the sufficient. And the data pre-processing, which is a part of the Python learning itself, like while you are learning the Python programming language, where you are going to work on these pandas and numpys. So specifically, I'm not mentioning you should focus on these specific libraries, but while choosing the AI, the development itself, this is a part of the Python programming language where you are going to apply and where you are going to learn your iterations and all together. So that's how you are going to learn your Python skills also. And and if I talk about like the AI roles, so many of them companies, they are providing for the, as for the US market, if I say like there are $150K are providing for the 5 to 8 years of the experience. And if it is more than 8 years or the 10 years of experience, where you can easily get $200K per annum. And even for the India market as well, for above 8 years, you can able to get the $4 million for the annum, I can say that. And for the freshers, you will be going to get like in $1 million, I can say that. It's approximately 7 to 10 lakhs, you can get it easily. So and uh, when you are applying for the job as well, so they give the different job titles here, so no need to confuse on the job titles level. So where you are going machine learning and the Gen AI based engineer, NLP research engineer, or computer vision engineer, or like a name, they will call as a software developer or associate, they will call, but all the inside the job descriptions will be related to the machine learning or the Gen AI based engineer itself. Or like an A developer also they will keep. Even for the data scientist also, it will be the similar. All the skill set will be the similar itself. And if you are looking for this specific, all these roles are the eligible for into the market, as I mentioned, like in a robotic engineer or software engineer, AML or NLP engineer, or like an AI research scientist or data scientist, or deep learning engineer or machine learning engineer, so Gen AI engineer. So all jobs will be, you will be eligible for the, by learning the Python programming and Python programming with the machine learning, deep learning, and the Gen AI. I can say that, because all these three skills are very very important for you to become as a AI developer. Because some of the project where you have to work with the Gen AI based technology, and some of the project where you have to work with the traditional based only. So industry will expect, okay, the candidate who is having the traditional based knowledge and the Gen AI based knowledge only, they are going to hire you, because specifically they are looking for those skill set. Because all the use cases, like in all the use cases which cannot be resolved by the Gen AI based platform, so that's where they wanted to be, develop some of the NER based model, like for example named entity recognition system. So when we are processing for each and every clinical notes where we wanted to identify the specific disease, so these clinical notes length is also too high, it's too bigger. And along with that, there are like millions of nodes will be available. So just imagine, then we are running for the million of nodes into the LLMs, it is going to be the huge cost. So the company will looks alternate way where they wanted to minimize the cost. That's where they think on the perspective of traditional based approach as well. Okay, So when we wanted to become an AI developer, where you have to be have a knowledge on the traditional based and the Gen AI based technologies. So all these are the platforms will be helpful for you to get into the job. So like in a hiring cafe, freelancer, AI jobs apps, Turing, and Cutshot, Upwork, and Andela. Okay, the AI job board. So all these are the platforms where it is providing for you to get into the job. These are the US based markets, and these are the Indian markets like in Shine, InstaShare, Iris, Naukri, Monsters, so where you will be going to land your job. Even for you, you can see the many of the jobs are which is coming to the market. If you see, if you type just as a keyword artificial intelligence, where you can see the 92,000 plus jobs are available into the market. And if you type alone machine learning jobs, you can see 27 plus 20, 27,000 plus jobs are available. Machine learning. Okay, so you will be eligible for all these jobs. Okay, by learning with the machine learning and deep learning and the Gen AI. So you are ready to apply for all these jobs. It's in a just going through the job description. Don't be fall it trap and the job title. I can say that. So with my experience, I just wanted to be suggest you only one thing. Just start learning the skill set. It's only not learning where you have to apply by yourself as well. So that's where you are going to be experienced by yourself, like in a by writing the line by line programming. I know there are multiple tools are into the market which will be helpful for you, but I will tell you it is only helpful for the new developer. It is only helpful for the already the experienced persons. Okay, you have to be habituated for those the particular platforms as well, like in a GitHub Copilot or the chat gpts or something. So simply if you are like providing the prompt, and if you're getting the code, it is does not make any sense, right? Where you need to understand the line by the line code, like in a how I can be make more optimized way as well. So you have to tell that. And if something is like it goes, there is an errors or something, there is an the typo issues or some kind of issues in the program, where you are able to identify that particular the bug, and you are able to resolve that particular issue. So that's where you will be learn more the coding skills as well. I can say that it's all about it comes with the practice. It's just not like in a learning and doing the copy paste or the copycat. I can say that because many of the engineers which I see, even from my team, like in where I will have a 15 members of in my team, there are like in a few people's like in where I see like in a just like in a copy and keep pasting from the chat gpt. So and the funny part is they won't remove the special characters or special emojis as well. I know there are many of the people, even you people also tried. Even I tried myself. I will try also myself. But when you're doing, like, try to understand, like, what you're trying to do that. Okay, what you're trying to develop here. So how we could be make a more optimized way, and how we could be used a reusable the approach here. So making of the class or something, where you need to be think on the perspective of while you're developing the code or copying from the specific sources as well. So here I would have I just wanted to be suggest here there are many platforms here in the market, but you have to choose so the platform like which is giving the right skills to you. Okay, so that's where we have thought of the KKR here, like in a where we wanted to be come up with the some kind of the programmatical structure way. So for the freshers or the experienced persons, which is required to the market. Okay, which is required to the market for the AI jobs, where we wanted to teach only those stuff, and where we can make them as experienced freshers. Because even though you have a experienced into the different domain, but we consider as a fresher only, right? So because this is a completely domain, but you have experienced into the domain. Even for these freshers also, we we consider everyone as a freshers here from the beginning, and by end of the course or by end of this the KKR journey, where we are going to shape you like an experienced freshers, where you are going to do some hands-on session with us. Along with that, we are going to provide you the industry based the job the kind job use cases, like in a when you are attending for the interview, if they request you to explain the end-to-end project, like the roles, what you did, and how did you approach, or how did you decide by yourself by choosing of the services, which the kind of the styles which we are going to explain for you, where you are going to answer for the interview as well. So like challenges and writing from the beginning of the steps to deploying to the model into the production, that's where we are going to teach you into this particular the KKR the course, I can say that. But it's it's all about like it's in a delivering to the person where he's already have done some the use cases where he already have done the projects into the AI domain. That's what we wanted to be trained here, and to make them into the good shape where we wanted to be into the industry to expect those skill set like it. So this is about my things. So as for the, I see some, Rana Tariq, as for the market, fisher subs are declining the US and the other market as well. Large influx of the gadgets will handle this. See, Rana, I'll say one thing, like, do not to be a fear for the freshers. See, if your resume is strong, so when we call it, when we say that resume is strong, when you keep like in your key skill set, like in a key skill set, like in the projects which you worked, that's where the interview shows the interest, right? Like in a, when they are doing from the ATS system, so where ATS system will identify these keys and they're going to shortlist your the resume. So if resume is strong, you no need to worry. The resume strongs will only comes when you work for the some project. That's where doing of some internships or taking of the some course where you're going to do some uh, where you're going to do some your dirty hands on dirty by doing of the various sessions and all together. That's where you're going to be the experience. So definitely will be shortlist. It is nothing to worry that like in a, the US or in the other job market is like in a, it's an low. The jobs are available for the freshers and the experienced persons as well.
Yeah, thank you, Master. Yeah, I know you spent enough time, and it's really, really good details about your experience. Yeah, before I hand over to Shaker Master for the next 15-minute session, so I would like to say that it's not only training, we also help people in getting the jobs. So we have collaborated with different consulting companies, and we have our own team India, almost 25 plus people who can help in marketing and placing the people. So we also associate with vendors and other placement companies. So we help on that logistics as well. Okay, just to let you all know. So yeah, with that, I'm hand overing to Shaker Master. Please try to share your experience. Mm.
Sure. So hey guys, if you are able to see my screen, just give me some energy in the chat by saying job. By saying job, can you type job in the comment section, guys? I want at least 50 to 100. There are 250 people in the chat who are actively listening. Please type job in the comments, guys. Yep. Yeah, thank you so much for joining today's session. Fundamentally, my name is Nagashekar. I'm an senior AI developer working for an insurance company called MetLife. I would be sharing you some tips. In the last 2 years, I'm working on this Gen AI, where I have given variety of interviews. I have recollected so many memories so that I would share all those memories with you guys. So if you are planning to land into AI job, I would say this is the right time and this is you are in the right place. So please strategize your strategy, prepare accordingly, do some hands-on project, and then get into AI as soon as possible. We never know. CEOs from different companies. Yesterday there was an Indian summit. CEOs from different companies are warning that we might see super intelligence in future. So what kind of jobs we might have after coming super intelligence is unknown yet. But if you are into this AI field, You might see some jobs related to AI journalist. There are few jobs that we are expecting which would be created in AI ecosystem. So I would highly encourage you guys, please learn AI and then try to do some projects. And then, yeah, sky is the limit for you. With that, I know there are few questions related to freshers. I would be actively looking into the chat, guys. If you have any questions at any point of time, please ask your questions. I would answer all your questions based on the time constraints. So with that, whenever you are giving AI interviews, guys, with my personal experience, people, as you know, these large language models are API calls. Generally, if you want to use any chat GPT, you are not inventing the wheel. Basically, what you are trying to do is you are trying to call an API. You are sending the question, you are sending the context, and then you are getting the responses from LLM, right? It is just an API call. And then software engineer can also do that, right? I mean, if you are a software engineer, if you know how to build API, if you know how to call the API, it is the same thing, right? But as an AI engineer, what you need to know is you need to know the psychology of language models. What LLMs are good at? What is the strong point of LLM? How what are the constraints that right now LLMs are having? So understand, let's say if I want to judge a person, I would judge him based on some parameters, right? What are his weakness? What is the skill set that he is possessing? Similarly, you have to be like a psychologist and understand what these language models are doing. How are they coming up with the next token? What is the limitations that they are having? So understand that if you understand LLM psychology, uh, you would be one of the good engineers, I can say. You would be one of the good AI engineers. And in AI interviews, they don't test you on prompting techniques. They don't test you on what LLM to use. They don't test you on LangChain. They don't test you on any frameworks. Okay. What do they generally test is right now, you need to have that system design. I have few questions on people asking what exactly, freshers, as a fresher, what should be mindset, or there are no jobs, right? So what you need to do is, even though you are a fresher, you have 5 years experience, 10 years experience, 20 years experience, it doesn't matter. You need to, right now, coding assistants are doing, I mean, they are kind of doing coding very good, right? I mean, if you consider all the agents, like if you see Claude, if you see GPT, Gemini, they are writing code way effective, right? So then what you need to have is you need to have that system thinking. How do I build a system? How do I, you need to think like an engineer, even though you are a fresher, even though you are a system, even though you are a experienced guy, seasoned experienced guy, it doesn't matter. You need to have a holistic understanding of how you want to solve the problem. What is the trade-off? You need to have the trade-off thinking, and then you need to have scalability thinking. You need to have that latency awareness. How do you control the hallucinations? What is your evaluation strategy? How do you productionize the AI system that you are trying to do? So please try to have the an end-to-end uh, problem solving skill, and then how to build an end-to-end AI system, and also production mindset. So this is what the things that I have been tested in last 2 years very frequently. So I mean, I would kind of give a 7 step system design framework. Let's say if they asks you, the question can be very simple. They are saying that, can you build an AI agent that can do the summarization for legal document? Let's say this is my question. I was interviewed by a legal company, and they are asking me, hey, I have a legal document. So can you tell me a steps. Can you tell me how do you build an AI agent that can do the summary of that legal document? That is a simple question that I got. So whenever you got that requirement, you don't say, hey, I will use GPT, or you shouldn't say that. What you need to do is you need to clarify the requirement. You need to define success metrics. You need to define what a pattern to use, whether to use RAG, whether to use agent, or whether to fine tune language model, or whether to use AI workflows. So you need to have that mindset of what AI pattern to choose, and then design some high level architecture, deep dive into, if you are building agents, deep dive into tools, memory planning. If you are using RAG, a deep dive into chunking strategies, embedding strategies. So don't just say, I would use this, I would use this. Justify that, why you are using it. So deep dive into those things. Later think about reliability, safety, and then have an mechanistic evaluation and monitoring thing. So this is very, very important, because you put something into production, and you, if you don't know how LLM is behaving in production, then whatever the system, AI system that you have designed, it is kind of a bullshit, and then you don't know how LLM is behaving in real world, right? So evaluation framework is very, very, very important thing whenever you are building an AI system. So I would kind of walk you through few tips that I would give you. Let's say my question is, I want to build an AI agent for legal document, right? Let's say if this is a question, what are the functional questions that you would ask is, you would ask, who are the users? I mean, it's generally what kind of questions that you can ask is, what is the input data type? Are we getting this from any external systems, or do we are these documents are stored somewhere? What is the output expected? Is this output is sent to the customer, or is this output is sent to an external system? So you can have some functional questions and some non-functional questions, like what is the latency? Let's say you build the summary, and then you want to show the summary to the user, and let's say if this AI process is taking 10 seconds, you can't if it is taking 1 minute, you can't ask user to wait, right? So you need to know what is the latency requirement. And then whenever you are building some applications, AI applications, accuracy is the key thing. So say, hey, I don't matter. I mean, I'm working for an insurance company. They don't matter about latency. What matters is for them is accuracy. They want AI to predict accuracy. So you want to know what is the accuracy as well, and then you need to know hallucination tolerance. And some companies say, hey, margin would be I can have 5% hallucination rate as hallucination tolerance. Some companies like medical, they don't want any hallucination. So you need to know about hallucination tolerance as well. Scale, and then PII constraints. Whenever you are sending any information to language models, the fundamental thing that you need to know is, you don't want to send PII information to the language models. So how do you tackle this? So whenever they are asking you, uh, so ask these questions in so that it creates a clear understanding of the problem, and also it shows that you are more into understanding the problem very well. And then let's remove this, okay? So whenever you are, let's say you I believe that whoever are joining here, few people are kind of having good few people are having experience with AI, and few people don't have, and then they want to make a career shift, right? So if you want to make a career shift, what you can do is, you can say, you can design an end-to-end project. You can design an end-to-end POC, and then whenever you are saying this project, your project to the interviewer, you can say that, hey, I built a RAG system where my P95 is 2 seconds, which means all 95% of the times, whenever user is asking a question, I would respond him in less than 2 seconds. So you can say that, hey, I built a system where my AI is responding in 2 seconds, and then my hallucination rate is 95%. So that gives that whenever you are saying this to the interviewer feels like you know the constraints like latency. Even though, I mean, it's not about only the system design where interviewer is asking this asking to build an AI agent, and then you ask this question. So you put these points whenever you are presenting your project as well. Say that, hey, I build a rack system. The cost cut down for the industry was $2 million. And then you can say that, hey, my processing time got decreased from so and so to so and so. I built an AI agent that hallucination rate was down, and then accuracy is this. So have this functional understanding and then non-functional questions as well. Try to use them whenever you are presenting your project to the hiring manager, or whenever they are asking any system design questions. Put these points into your in your mind. Later, define success metrics. So as I said, what is the problem that you are trying to solve, and then what is the business outcome, or you can say it as an KPI, right? So what is the accuracy rate, latency, hallucination rate, escalation rate, and then cost per request. So have this understanding, holistic understanding of all these matrices, so that whoever is hiring you will get to know that you not only use these APIs, you are kind of having some holistic understanding of these systems. Okay, and let's talk about choosing the right AI pattern. When do you want to? So they sometimes you don't know what problem statement, what pattern to use, right? Sometimes in requirements, you'll just get a, hey, build an AI systems that does this job. So they won't give you the framework. And then sometimes questions can be, what is the difference between RAG and agents? What is the difference between conversational chatbot and RAG? So the questions can be very vague. In those cases, what you need to do is you need to present your case, saying that, hey, agents can be used in this situation, RAG can be used in this situation. Have that holistic understanding of where exactly RAG is used, what happens, what are the cases where we need to use RAG, what are the cases where we need to use where we don't need to use RAG. Okay, let's say, when do you use fine tuning is you want model to understand some domain, you'll use fine tuning. So fine tuning is not best if data is changing very regularly. Let's say your policies are updating day by day. You can't change, you can't fine tune a model on regular basis, right? So all these AI patterns or AI architectures know where to use and when to use, so that whenever someone asks you something, or whenever interviews ask you, I build a rack system. So you can say that why you build rack system. So it's not about just saying, hey, I build a rack system. So instead say, hey, because of this, I used this rack. Hope I'm kind of making sense, guys. If you are having any questions at any point of time, please kind of pose your questions in the chat. Okay. So, yeah, and then whenever they ask you some questions, have some deep dive into architectures as well, like what are user interfaces, embedding search, AI processing, data storage, all the layers. So let's say whenever you're talking about track, you talk about where exactly data is residing. Once after getting data, you need to see whether the document is handwritten or scanned document. You need to do OCR. What kind of OCR strategy do you use? And then chunking strategies. What chunking strategy would you use? What are the drawbacks of using one chunking strategy over other? What is the embedding choice would you use? And then what vector database would you use? So have an understanding of data ingestion pipeline and then query orchestration pipeline. If you are building a rack system, if you are building an agent, you need to tell what tools that you are using, what memory you are using, whether you are using short-term memory, long-term memory, how do you handle failures. If an agent is running into infinite loop, how do you handle those cases? what is the planning strategy you use COT, you use few shot, what you use tree of thought, what kind of planning strategy would you use? You need to walk through all those things in detail. Later, the problem with AI is the hallucinations and then safety as well. So how do you ensure that LLM, I mean, sometimes we will get hallucinations. So how do you ensure that LLM doesn't hallucinate at all? So what are the steps that you need to talk about this, because companies are hiring managers would be highly looking into this. Later would be evaluation strategy. There are two evaluation strategies like offline evaluation and online evaluation. So offline evaluation is before you send this your AI product to production. How do you say what is the confidence that how much are you confident on this AI solution? So you need to come up with some matrices saying that, hey, my faithfulness is this, my the retrieval score is this, my groundness is this. So you need to come up with some matrices and then say that, hey, my AI system is performing well. With respect to online evaluation, let's say you went into production. There, what you need to do is you need to have LLM as a judge and then see whether your AI system is performing well or not, whether it is kind of having any model drift or not. Have that evaluation strategy. It is very, very important. So you can use observability tools like as Langsmith, Langfuse, all this stuff. So I'm nearing to my time as well. I have 4 minutes of my time. My final advice would be build a real-time projects, at least two, one on RAG and one on agentic AI. Let's say if you want to become an AI engineer, don't just build RAG, start from requirement till production. I mean, use any cloud, deploy this, and whenever you are building a RAG, you need to connect to different systems. How do you connect to different systems? How do you get the data? Where do you push it? And then measure the performance, track hallucination, track economics as well. What do I mean by cost economics is what is the request? I mean, let's say if an user is charting with LLM, per person, per session, what is the cost? Learn trade off, understand system design, all this stuff, measure performance. So this would fetch you AI jobs, and then this would land you AI interviews very easily. So let's say if you are planning to become an AI engineer, build end to end, project end to end. Even though you are a fresher, even though you have tons and tons of experience, if you don't have end-to-end understanding, nobody will hire you, because AI agents are doing code for us now. So you need to have that system understanding so that you can build, I mean, you can architect, or you can have that holistic understanding of this AI stuff. So, and I'm very active in LinkedIn as well, guys. Let's say if you want to follow me, I am right now kind of giving you some system design concepts. If you want to follow me, you can follow me. There is LinkedIn page. This you can think of this as a promotion, but I am kind of giving you system design, how to solve hallucination problems, or I'm kind of giving you how to think big. So let's say my first day post was how do you build RAG for 10 million PDFs? So think big and then build big. That is what my final suggestion. This is what I have gained through my 2 years of AI experience. So if you have any questions, I would be happy to take, guys. If not, I think Abhinav is my next speaker. I welcome him.
Yeah, thank you, Shaykar Master. Yeah, just like Abhinav, I need just 1 or 2 minutes so that you can take over. So I don't need much time. Thank you, Shaykar Master, for your clear explanation on how you prepared and how you landed on a job. I think hopefully that helps a lot to everyone. We just captured some of the highlights from the AA Summit India. It's not like we are diverting, but we want to make sure that what is went in last 1 week, and it's still going on. So it's like huge, impact we see India brand and yeah, how the companies are investing in across the world, both in India and USA. Yeah, I just want to go over these, 5 slides in a minute, so that everybody can, get aware of about this era. Later, Abhinav is the one who give a very clear explanation on how to prepare AI jobs, and he's the one who requested this topic initially. But we want to, combine with other mentors as well, so that it will be 100% effective. Yeah, I think Abhinav class definitely helps every fresher and experience. He come up with his experience, and has been working with industry plus 10 years. He is a system architecture level role playing in AI. So I think Abhinav experience definitely helps. Please be available next 30-45 minutes, so that you will get some more insights from how to prepare for AI jobs concept wise. Yeah, we see that key attendees, world leaders attended an India AI summit. So we captured, like, just to make you all aware, like it's like huge investments. We see that from Indian partnership with American companies, especially Reliance, Adani Group, Microsoft, Google. Google is the old news, but now as part of AI Summit, we see that, like, our Tata Group and other companies also really, partner with, other MNCs, and it's like lot of collaboration, lot of investment happening. So we can expect, like, there are like a variety of roles and different expectations from industries. Our course, whatever we taught last 2 years, there are like 500 plus hours we recorded. And when a student join with us, we give like 100 plus hours recorded session. We give like 5 to 10 projects in GitHub. They start with that, and then they join live classes, and the people who practiced our 2 3 POCs, they got landed. So in last 1 year, if you guys ask me, around 12 plus people, landed through our marketing and through our trainings. Yeah, so yeah, try to see that how you guys can collaborate with us. We are open, and you can fill your enrollment, and currently batch 5 is ongoing, and batch 6 we are starting in next 1 month. Yeah, please try to click on enrollment link where our panel people is pinging in the chart. So try to see that you can join. Get our YouTube links. Get our recently we conducted 20 hours of agentic framework boot camp. We delivered across global. There are 3,000 people joined across 10 sessions. So please go over those recorded sessions. It would definitely help everyone. And based on that, you can reach us, and we can have one-to-one call. And if you are a corporate or consulting company, please reach us. We'll have separate sessions for them as well. So yeah, with that, hand overing to Abhinav, who is our senior mentor, and who is working with us from last couple of months. Abhinav, please take over. Thank you for giving this opportunity.
Thank you, Venkatesh, Ram, and Shaykar. It was a very beautiful overview for students who are trying for their jobs, and it pretty much covered all the aspects how to get into a job as a beginner. It is very well explained, and if you guys noted all the points that Shaykar and Venkatesh was trying to cover, you are almost reached to the destiny. But there is something beyond that I would like to share my experience, since this is a big, vast area to get into a job, right? And though it is a beginner, you try using GPT to get the information. There are several job descriptions where you find very uniqueness. Maybe keywords might be repetitive, but the use case might be different. So companies really expect a lot. Though you are a beginner, they expect a lot in the initial interview itself. So hope my screen is visible and you're able to hear my audio very clearly. I just need some confirmation.
Yes, yeah, you are
Yes,
clear.
yes. Okay. So just wanted to um, with this understanding, I know almost all the attendees who are attending this session would have this clear understanding that it is bit difficult to get into a job, any initial job. And then once you land, you will walk through your network and you will be safe in and secure in your jobs. But there are some hurdles as well. I do not want to point out that, but because this is somewhere you need to get into a job. So I like to categorize this area into four different aspects. And all these aspects are very much interlinked. Though you have technical knowledge, there would be somewhere a, a person or a student who is giving interview might be lagging in some other area. So not every individual is expert in all the areas, right? So, but we need a job. Then how to focus, how to categorize these areas, and how to be a good competitor with all the competitors who are attending the same interview. So now this is what I want to focus. So now there is a big saying that AI will replace the jobs. Okay, we'll come to this aspect, but going forward, you'll understand that AI will not replace the jobs, but it will improve the productivity. Okay. Now there are something related to technical systems that you need to understand. So I categorize these into four broader areas. One is technical system, and the next one is costing that you need to focus. And while you're giving the interview, and interviewer might focus on costing also at the same time. And there is something like professionality that you need to build yourself. And there is something called soft skills, which are where these two play a vital role beyond your technical skills. Okay. So in the interview, I'm only talking about the interview aspect and how you build your confidence in your interviews. So now, when it comes to AI system engineering and you have something evaluation centric developments and something data engineering for Gen AI. So when it comes to data engineering, almost 70% of your area covers in the data engineering pipeline design for any AI systems that you're building. 70% will be a data engineering itself to design a pipeline, how your data flows, how you are building a RAG system, because almost all the enterprise will go with the RAG systems instead of going with the fine tuning, because you have several APIs which are available in the market. Now you are ready to use those APIs which are already built, and you need to design a pipeline which is suitable to your use case. Then obviously 70% of all the use cases would fall with the data engineering, right? Now you have some clarity where to focus. Now, how to understand AI systems and how even Shaker covered few aspects, and Venkatesh also covered few aspects like how to think a system works instead of using a tool, right? So how a system works and what are the skills required for the system and what is this evaluation centric development? How do you evaluate your system and how do you design the pipeline for your system? So these are the three areas that you need to focus while preparing for any AI, Gen AI jobs. Okay. And this will cover your data engineering profiles as well. And if you are a evaluate, if you are working on a use case where you have to, before going to production, you have to evaluate the model because it is going to be open for your users, right? So tomorrow you don't want to see some kind of some kind of response which is not user friendly, right? You have to evaluate in a different ways, and you have to give some confidence. Yes, my system, my model works very perfectly with so and so accuracy. So definitely evaluation will play a vital role when you start working on a any use case. Then you need something AI system. What kind of skill set required to build a system? You need to build a system, then you need some skill set to build a system. So these are the three areas which will cover in a broader role when you start preparing for your jobs. Now, with this information, what are we trying to do? So the core descriptions are, now there is something that you need to build your ability to design, debug, and production grade Gen AI systems. How are these getting deployed and where are they getting deployed? How you are optimizing these deployments. Now, every individual start using a tool, but the core understanding and principles are how these tools are working. Everybody uses ChatGPT, right? But if you use ChatGPT, doesn't mean that you will get a job. You have to understand how GPT works, how ChatGPT is deployed, how the scaling system is being done. So this is the core principles that you have to work upon. The core frameworks such as transformers, distributed inference, and system under the architecture. So these are the core areas that you have to work when you develop or when you started working on any use case. You have to understand those core areas to build any AI system. Now, coming on to this evaluation. So, when it comes to evaluation, you have to give that confidence to your engineers that whatever you have built is having certain metrics, and these metrics will give you the confidence. So, whenever you speak in interviews, you have to come up with that metrics or with that confidence how your model is evaluated. If you are building a POC, that is also fine. But how are you saying the response is correct? How correct is the response when you are using a GPT API or when you are designing a pipeline? How are you designing the pipeline? Why you say that this particular pipeline that you have designed for your use case is correct? Is there any other alternate way which you can bring down the cost? So you need to think in this direction, and these are the key areas that you need to focus while you're giving an interview. Okay. Now, coming on to this another area, that is cost. So every model, you might be using different services like Azure, AWS, a few models, pipeline is set on Databricks, and few AI systems might be on premise also. So it might be any hosting service or any pipeline, depends on the organization that you gonna work with. So irrespective of specific service, irrespective of um, specific pipeline, you should be in such a way that to adapt or to make or to take some decision at that particular point of time which will suit to your use case. So I hope if the line is very confusing, but try to understand costing will make, if you are building a pipeline, costing will make your decision in a very
Yeah, looks like we lost you, Abhinav. Is any issue with your audio? Yeah, okay. Yeah, he lost his network. He'll be joining in few minutes. So yeah, I think you can ask some of the questions if you
Yeah,
guys have any.
yeah, I
Master, I
would
think
be
you
ready
can
to
take
take. Yeah,
over.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
anybody.
So I see a question. It is very common now for many people to copy paste and use there in projects. If we understand code by asking LLMs to explain it, learn that way, is that good? Or do we need to write the code ourselves with hands-on practice? Because even ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini generates code whenever you are working on RAG or large projects. There would be lot of code. Everyone is using LLM to generate it. If developers or students understands the flow and the code properly, is that enough? It's a nice question. Yes, definitely. Right now, the language models are helping us to write code, and then, yeah, at the moment, if you understand the code, that would be sufficient. But let's say whenever you are building a production graded system, the production graded systems requires system thinking. So that is what I'm enforcing in my presentation as well. So it's not about you understanding what is the logical flow of code or whether GPT is explaining the lines of code what someone written. What you need is you need to have that system thinking on what component to use, whether to use that component or not, whether to use it safely or not. So, and then whenever you say something, what I want is I want you to have that empirical evidence on whether it is making sense or not. So whatever you have drafted in your question, it makes sense, and then that is just 30 to 40% of your work. But whenever you are planning to land into any AI job, what I highly recommend you is please try to think in systematic. Try to think from design perspective on why this. Why are we even using LLM there? Or if you are using, if something is, if LLM is hallucinating, why are we getting hallucination? Or why it is taking more time? What happens if you have 1 million documents over whenever you are building you see only 1,000 documents or 10,000 documents? What if you have 10 million documents? Think big. uh, Thinking big will uh, definitely fetches you more thing is what I mean to say. But yeah, with respect to coding, language models are giving code, but you need to understand what it is giving, how to logically change it, how to debug it. Yes, from past 6 months or 7 months, I'm my 50% to 60% of code is written by LLM whenever I'm working for a company as well. But you need to know, you need to use it smartly. You need to know, because you are sending this to production. Let's say if something is breaking in production, you can't come and you can't ask LLM to fix it. You need to know end to end.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Shaykar Master. Yeah, I think I see like Pranay is also available. I think let me thinking. So, Pranav, is that fine if you can complete your introduction? Pranav, Pranav
Should
must.
I
Pranav,
take
yeah,
my
yeah, yeah. You can proceed. Yeah, because I've been now having some technical issue.
okay? Sure. Let me share my screen. So can everyone see my screen?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, myself. Let me wait. Yeah. Hi everyone. Myself, Pranay. I'm a senior data scientist working in legal tech. So as everyone mentions, right? So right now, how we need to build a production grade AI systems. That's what Shaker Master has mentioned. So like right now, in present market, so we need to not only like build and deploy production grade systems. That's the main skill. So
I would also say that you need to understand the core problem uh, as well. So, for example, okay, so many candidates right now know like how to use AI tools, uh, but they do not know how to build like AI systems. So, I mean, they know how to call an API or fine tune. Right now, there is a lot of code available. Like you can take those code out there to fine tune a model or create a demo notebook. So, I mean, this was enough like couple of years ago, not anymore. So the market has changed. So like the companies are not hiring to experiment, I would say. So they are hiring people to replace manual workflows. So reduce cost, scale, output. So if you can work, so if your work cannot clearly do one of those things like reducing cost, replacing manual workflows, or scaling the output, so then you are already at disadvantage. So, so as we think with AI, we can use to code and everything, but with after coming, I mean, with coming of AI, we need to have in more technical depth. So right now, earlier they used to be teams with 12 to 16 people, like two teams or three teams to build an application or a simple task. So right now, the companies are looking for candidates who has more technical depth and also who make sure to ship products. So you need to understand how, like, as the masters have mentioned, like Shaykar Master or Abhinav. So you need to understand like how models are deployed. So how inference latency affects users' experience. Like if you open an Instagram when you come back after like 6 hours, so what happens is it shows you the best content that you like. So you need to, for example, you need to understand how that is happening. You need to be curious. Okay. So if you see any kind of AI system, first you need to be curious, and then that curiosity you need to take into consideration, and you should sit and understand how it is implemented technically. So if you ask Google or ChatGPT or anything, so it will provide you answers for the questions you ask, like how these systems are built. So you can dig deep. So you should be curious. That's one thing. So how do you develop this technical depth? So first thing is curiosity. So with curiosity, you can learn model deployment. You need to understand like inference, latency. No user wants to sit long to get a simple work. Right now, everyone time span with using applications has reduced a lot. So you need to understand the latency part. It should be very quick. So when you are building those systems, when you are thinking through coming up with a solution using AI, it should be like with minimal latency. And then the next thing is like production failures. You should not produce or fail in production. So when we are building like applications, we don't have users. That's obvious because we are not building an a project or during learning, so no one uses, like it's us who uses it. But you need to understand or think through or be curious to know how this works in production, like how companies deploy these systems, how does this scale when there is a lot of traffic, and also monitoring and evaluation. So most of the systems that are built out there in the market, in like a lot of teams are building, they are building AI systems but they are not evaluating with core data science principles. You should be extremely honest with yourself. What are the metrics it has achieved with the system I have, and how I can improve those evaluation metrics. Before deploying those systems, you should have some baseline. If this system achieves more than the baseline only, then we will ship it into production. And also, while shipping a system into production, you also need to understand the trade-offs. Why I am having this kind of system compared to all the other systems. I mean, you just not only need to build a system, you should build a system that has a lot of trade-offs, like latency should be considered. You should explain why this system is better than all the other systems, which I think I have experimented out there. So you should think through all the edge cases. Everything should be programmatically and numerically explained as well while evaluation. So you should show the numbers to stakeholders or your managers. How does this come? Like one might think, right? So how do I know all of this? Everything is all about curiosity. That's I would say one thing. So you should dig deep dive while learning. You should see and ask questions in such a way that how can I scale this application, or how can I have a better solution? So like that. And as I already mentioned, right? So I mean, everyone is mentioning right now. It's like Gen AI is like mostly systems engineering. That's true. So one needs to know different prompting strategies. One need to know different retrieval systems. How do you manage memory in agents? What are the tool orchestration you want to use? Evaluation pipelines, monitoring and feedback loops. What happens if something fails? What is the rollback strategy? Like everything what everyone is mentioning is needed, and also these systems need to be engineered in such a way that they work well in production. So then, so many people might be seeing like a lot of agentic architectures. Like there are different types of agentic architectures that are available out there. But when you design an agent-based systems, right, you must ask some of these questions, like what decisions are made. Like agentic system, they make decisions, right? So through LLM. So what decisions are being made through those agentic systems? Like, and for those decisions to make, right, how you are providing the state to those LLMs, and where does this that memory lives? For example, if you want to persist a state to an LLM, if you are using like any kind of coding tools like Cursor or Copilot or anything, while you are using it, you should be curious, like how these systems are working, how the state is being persistent, and also where does this memory live? Is it living in a database? Like how does it know the past conversation, or how does is it living in a state, or is it living in a Redis? Some, I mean, where does it live, and why is it living over there? Like it is because in order to reduce latency, or is it because to have long-term memory? And also when building these systems, you should also have a checkpoint. Like if something fails, or if any LLM call fails, where is the checkpoint it goes back to? Like how, what failures are acceptable and what are catastrophic? When you should think through the problem when you are developing these agentic systems. And along with that, then you also need to understand the overall system engineering part of it while developing these systems. So most teams build agentic systems. Most companies, like most candidates, can use AI to build those systems. But most of them fail to evaluate or fail to come up with evaluations for those systems. So this is where more AI systems die, I would say. So I mean, this is like the hard truth. So people ship systems without knowing what's good look like. Like, is it good enough? And what metrics actually matters? I mean, as a engineer, what metrics matter to you? And as stakeholders, what metrics matter to them when they are deploying those systems? And how like these are the metrics that goes through an engineer to all the upper management. All these metrics should be considered when you are developing these systems. And not only that, how the performance degrade happens, and how can we improve those performance degrade, and if something changes, how to improve those systems. So all the edge cases needed to be noted, and then the evaluation metrics are to be defined, and then next the systems which you are developing should revolve around these evaluation metrics. And one more thing is, businesses do not care how complex your model is. They care only about outcomes. Like every AI system must have at least this, like, does it reduce the cost? Like this team can reduce the cost of the company. Like, does it increase the speed? Does it improve the quality? Does it unlock scale? So most business thinks in that way. So it can be how complex or how small, it doesn't matter. So many AI roles today exist specifically to reduce like headcount, I would say. So that's what these companies are looking for. For example, if you see the FANG companies, like top 7 companies, so their headcount is same from past 5 years, but their revenue, their profits, so profit margins has increased by 30%. Or is, I mean, their headcount might be decreased as well. So what happens? These stakeholders, everyone achieves for the same thing. So as an AI engineer yourself as well, you need to understand and evolve in thinking in that aspect. So how to scale, and this is the part of the job. Along with that, you need to also understand like token usage and infrastructure complexity. So most of the companies doesn't have infrastructure or doesn't, I mean, most of the candidates who are working doesn't know how the company's infrastructure is set up. So that you should get to understand as soon as you join in the job or while you interview as well. So how should we be learning AI today? So I will give some of the examples I have used while I am like working or while I am preparing for any interviews. How would I do? For example, first thing when you are interviewing, you should take you should understand the resume properly. Like, is it a data science Gen AI? In Gen AI, what aspect it is? Like, is it a just an LLM calls, or is it like a agentic team, or is it like a fine tuning, or is it like a inference team, or if is it like platform engineering team, or else if is it like MLOps team. So you need to understand what they are looking for. You need to understand the resume, I mean, the job description in detail. You might not understand, that's for sure. I mean, everyone doesn't understand. Then how do we do that? Then, while you are taking initial calls with HRs, before you get to know, get to talk to the team, you need to grab as much information as you can, like asking simple questions. So, what this team is exactly looking for? What are the projects they are working on? You should grab these questions. What the company does. Then, when you get to know these kind of questions, then you need to make sure you align yourself in those teams. Like you should think through how they are working on solving those problems. You need to sit with AI, like ChatGPT or Claude something, and how to understand what they are looking for. So right now, no team is just looking for a candidate who implements a particular simple part. They are looking for candidates who takes ownership of the main like big part, big piece of the project. Okay, so once you understand this kind of once you ask these kind of questions, right, then when you go to the interview, you should project yourself in such a way that you know the pain points. I mean, you directly would not say them that, but when you get a chance to ask the question to the teams, right, you already grabbed those questions what the team might be facing the problems. So you might have collected this information from the recruiter or some other person or someone working in the company or something like that. So then you should make sure you align your questions, and then you should talk through how would you solve, or how did you solve in your previous projects, or what kind of solutions you think might help. So these kind of questions. So that's how you should prepare for job interviews. And then while learning as well, it's extremely important you understand all the edge cases, and like while implementing any project or something, you should sit through and make trade-offs while building systems. So at this moment, AI is moving very fast, but still depth beats speed. So if you know how to think through these systems, how to think in business perspective, and what kind of business impact I am bringing with the solutions. So this will remain relevant as tools changes. So the goal is not to chase every new model or every new agentic system that's available or that's coming up. The goal is to build thinking that survives with the model changes, with the system changes like agentic system or simple LLM call. It doesn't matter. So the goal for everyone is to understand and help understand what the business problem is and how can you come up with a solutions that are scalable and that brings business impact. And while you're being curious, you can ask. There are a lot of websites that helps you understand different systems, like how Instagrams a particular part is working on. Like there are a lot of websites that are available in the market that helps you understand how the systems are being developed. It will be hard for sure if you are new to AI, but with practice, with persistence, after some time, you just read a normal paper, like normal article or something, how they are building these systems, like a news article. But this curiosity and this thinking through these kind of systems is what matters in future. No matter how many AI tools comes, how many different models comes, different architecture, it doesn't even matter. So what does matter is how you can implement a particular part that is provided to you at job, and that needs not how can you develop those is spending some time every day or like every week, couple of hours, and read and understand how everything is working both in technical terms and in business terms. Yeah, that's the presentation I have for you for today. Thanks everyone.
Thank you, Pranesh. Thank you so much. Abhinav, I think I know you stopped in the middle, and sorry for making you disconnect. Yeah, please continue, Abhinav. Try
Uh,
to limit your time as well so that other mentors also. Yeah, thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Yeah, thank you. And sorry for the technical glitch. And thank you, Sai Pranay, for taking over during my trouble. And it was really informative session. Thank you so much. And with this information, with this, I'd like to cover the rest of the portion, whatever I have covered in my earlier duration. So the technical systems that we have covered and where we need to focus while preparing for the interviews, right? So when you start working on any POC, try to look into those areas where you how to debug and how you need to improve the model, where to improve the model, what kind of concepts are involved to build a POC. Now, at the same time, when you as soon as you build a POC, you have to look into an area, how you evaluate the model, how to build the confidence, and how to present. Presentation is a key when you prepare for any interview, and how you build, how confidently you are telling that my model is with so and so metrics, and what are the failure scenarios, what are the how did you design your pipeline. So these are the things that you need to focus when it comes to evaluation centric. Now, coming on to the data engineering aspect, this would cover almost 70% of the portion when you design a pipeline, because now every enterprise is not going to build a fine tuning model or build an large language model for their own. They it's very a minimal percentage of companies that would go for fine tuning if they have huge corpus, but most of the companies, 95% of the companies at enterprise level, they will go for a building a RAG based model, maybe different service, different pipeline. Maybe the entire use case would be different, but most of the situation, the basic concept of building a RAG pipeline would be the same. Now, you need to understand how you design the schema, where is the metadata, how to track the metadata, how you are maintaining the vector database, and how you build the consistency when you are sending the context to LLM, when you're seeing the response from the LLM. So these are the prime focused areas when it comes to technical aspects that you need to focus on your interviews while you are building your resume. It's not that just send a job description and get the resume points and put those resume points in your resume. So this way, though you have covered all the keywords in your resume, but you may not be able to deliver during your interviews. So you should make sure whatever the keywords that you're putting in your resume should fall in place with your POC. So make sure that kind of patterns or while you're preparing, while you are building a POC, make sure you interact with ChatGPT. You have several resources. There is not one tool I can recommend, but there are several resources now. When it comes to resources, there is an ocean of resources, right? There is no stop point for that. But how are you utilizing to get those resources correctly for your interviews is very important. Now, very few resumes will focus related to the cost optimization. So when you host any when you build any POC, if you are bringing such a points, why did you go for a RAG implementation instead of fine tuning? They straight away ask you why you didn't do a fine tuning, right? So definitely costing is the biggest area that you can bring a point on while you're preparing for your interviews. So in such way, there are several areas that you can bring the cost optimization, and you can make sure the inference pipeline is very, very optimal, and the metrics that you have achieved by showing some difference, how you improved your cost. So these are the key areas that you need to focus when you present yourself of your POC. So these are the areas that you need to focus on. See, why I'm pointing out very straightly, I don't want to repeat the things that you get from all the sources. And most of the topics are being covered by Venkatesh, Shaykar, and Sai Pranay. I want to talk something beyond where you have to focus directly when you are getting an interview call. Okay. So before a day or before 2 days before, when you scheduled a call with interview, or you have some opportunity that you have to present something, then these are the areas that you need to focus. Now, building a professional mindset. What do you mean by professional mindset? Now, as soon as you step into an organization, they will not ask you to build a another GPT model or another Gemini model for their use case. Okay, they will look primarily into their governance and safety, and how aware of these in your resume, or when you talk, when you speak something, when you are building a use case. So they will primarily look into these aspects, that how are you maintaining these things. So data leakage is a primary thing. They focus more, because a organization over the period of time, a organization will have high value and reputation, right? So if the data leakage is happening with your model that you have built, and especially when it comes to LLM, and you are using a API, external API, so you send some personal information data, you have some data leakage that might be possible, and how much percentage of data leakage you are not aware of. Since you are a beginner, you are going to step into an organization which is well reputed, and you have been working on POCs, right? So when you're working on a POCs, look into the data set and try to find the personal information data which is present in the data set. And if you are sending that particular information to the API, what happens? So similarly, when you start working in any organization with that particular use case, there might be some PIA information, and what kind of logics you're coming, what makes to remove those personal informations without sending to external API. So these are the things that you have to primarily focus, and these are the keywords that you need to mention in your resume to get shortlisted. Or these are the beautiful points that you can talk during the interviews, and this way you interact in the interviews, and the interviewer will feel more comfortable that you have some knowledge how to implement a POC, what are the areas that you need to look into while implementing the POCs. So now, what is a proof that you have worked? What is the, see, degree certificate or any certificate will definitely give access or eligibility to attend an interview. But how you market yourself? So you need some proof of work to market yourself. See, nobody is going to come and market your profile. Though it is a HR who is taking it forward to schedule the interviews, HR may not be a technically sound, right? So all the technical, they look into your resume, or they look into your GitHub profile, or they look into your postings, bloggings that you have written, the articles. So many things, many areas will come into the picture. If you have some certifications that will show the additional evidence. Now, everything is available and you can get it at some cost. Okay. But do not practice such things. Instead, go with your own knowledge. How can you present your own knowledge? How can you market your own knowledge with some GitHub repositories, READMEs, and some benchmarking repos? There are some open source repositories also. Now, GPT has made it public with 20 billion parameter. That is nothing but GPT OSS. So open source software, you can clone the repo and understand the repository, how GPT works, and that is related to fine tuning. And you can build some points, some keywords out of it, and you can utilize those points while building your POC. So this way you will outstand. You will make your profile very unique with respect to your competitors. So this is how your professional mindset should be while you're preparing for interviews or when you step into an organization. Now, definitely, now you have a good technical knowledge and you know where to optimize the cost, and you have some professional mindset. Okay, these are the areas that their data leakage might happen, and when you audit a system and you go for a council to get the approvals. So there are several things in the hierarchy that happens when you go for a production. It's not very easy that you go and deploy. Okay, for every AI model that you are going for a production should have some council approval as well in your organizations. Okay, so you have enough good sound knowledge, but is this enough? No. There is something called communication. So how are you communicating? How are you convincing? How are you convincing your business? How are you translating the technical knowledge to your business? So these are the few things that will give you more confident while you're speaking in your interviews or while you're presenting or you're demonstrating during your POC, whenever you have a demo with your leaders. So this is the area that you have to focus. Now companies are looking for someone who is going to build an automated workflows or increase the team productivity. So this is a key area where companies are looking for. Now, the era where the regular things, repeated things, or some data entry kind of. So those kind of positions have been faded away, and they are being come no more in the boom, because AI can automate, and now companies are looking for a candidate who can automate all the workflows on time instead of having some dependency on a human who is delaying the process. So they don't want to delay the process. They don't want to wait for the process to be done. They want it to be automated. And how can you utilize AI to automate the workflows? So this is what the area they are looking, and your soft skills to present that, your confidence, your knowledge that you have built, and from where you are grabbing the information, and how are you fitting that concept in your use case. So these are the areas that you need to look into. Now, I covered something, the strategical category where, the key areas that you need to focus, okay, while preparing for the interviews or while presenting any POC in your demos. Now, let us come to some bullet points and the area where, very pretty much, if you talk to if you ask to GPT or if you go and ask to any mentor, pretty much they cover a very keyword statements that will always remember and keep attracting these statements. Now they immediately say that AI is going to replace the jobs, but what AI is doing actually, AI is not replacing the jobs. The question should be something like this. The question is not, will AI replace me? This is not your question. The question is, use AI to improve the productivity. That's how the AI being implemented in every organization. That means there is a saying from NVIDIA CEO as well, that person who is going to use AI will replace your job, but not AI will replace your job. That means he is trying to improve the productivity of the organization. So now start thinking in that direction, utilize the concepts, learn the concepts, utilize the resources that you have to how to utilize AI in your use case or in your organization, in your POC that you're trying to build. Now, there is an era where tools being used, right? Now it is over. Okay. Now all you have to know is, see, everyone use ChatGPT. Okay, but you will not get a job if you are using ChatGPT or Gemini. Okay, in your daily basis. But only few can only few can understand how to design the system of ChatGPT. How can you evaluate the system? How can you reduce the costing while you're building a application or any use case which is going to production? How can you come with a new architecture that will reduce your existing architecture with the costing? So these are the things that you need to keep in your mind whenever you work on any use case. Now, knowing how to use AI is not being valued. Okay, so forget about that. I'm working with ChatGPT tool or Gemini tool. There are several tools that through AI. So there are several tools which will give you exposure to AI, but you have to understand the intuitions behind how AI model works. So this is the key area that you need to focus. Okay. Now, what employers are looking, what organizations are looking, do they really want AI integration? Who can integrate AI, or is it just a hype? So they are looking for someone, they are not looking for someone who can give the prompt and get the response. That everybody can do. Every engineer can do that. Every person who is using any AI tool can do that. So they are not looking for someone who does that activity. They are not looking for someone who build the demos or POCs. They are not looking for person. They are looking for someone who can initiate new use cases, which can automate, which can bring down, which can impact the business. But they are looking for someone who can impact the business, who can productionalize AI use cases by bringing down the costing. Okay, these are the things that organizations are looking for. Okay, now how do you secure your job? How do you secure your job? In earlier in earlier days, there are some tools like Excel is a very powerful tool, right? So most of them work with Excel, and that's a powerful tool. Even till today, Excel is a powerful tool. Okay. So now, who knows Excel very well, they are still sustaining in the jobs till today, right? So most of them, if you ask, they work with Excel very, very quickly. Okay. Instead of you building a report using Jupyter notebooks or some Power BI tool, okay, Excel is a primary source for that. They quickly do that. So Excel is a powerful tool, and who has knowledge on Excel tool, they will definitely sustain in the industry. But who can automate the workflow to build the Excel? You no need a human who's sitting there and doing a manual work for 1 or 2 months to build the same automated workflow. So now, when it comes to how you secure your job, now AI can write your emails, it can generate reports, it can code your functions, it can analyze your data. Then what makes difference, right? So you need some different ability. What kind of ability? Now you should shift your strategy, how to design that particular system, how to take a decision using AI agents, how to bring down the I'm not talking about human involvement, how to bring down the performance or wait time for any use case. And latency is also a biggest thing that you need to be taken care of. And these are the areas that you need to focus. And if you are expert in these areas, then your job is secure. Now, what is the literacy to get a job or a new employment? Now, AI literacy is a very very important step, and this in the era of 2023 or to 2026 and still being continued. Okay, the minimum knowledge is how AI works, and if you do not understand how LLM works and what are the limitations, where they fail, and how do you validate the outputs, then definitely you are behind this employability that looking forward after this 2026. Now, RAG has become a bigger, most popular enterprise level of pipelines, but there is beyond RAG, there is something graph RAG, and they are calling it as agentic graph RAG. So there are several upgradations happening over the RAG. And if you are still behind how LLM works and how you implement a RAG pipeline, then you are way behind, right? So AI literacy is very important for your new employment. Okay. So make sure you are aware of AI and how it works. Okay. Now, definitely, proof of work will definitely beats your degree. Okay. You show, you market, you build your resume, you build your GitHub profile, you build, there are several tools that can build your portfolio also. So build the good profile that will show your proof of work and that will beat your degree, and they will definitely hire you. There are several CEOs even in different areas who doesn't have a proper degree, but they are CEOs to an organization and earning $1 billion using just understanding how AI works. So this makes completely sense, because now degree is only giving the authority or eligibility to get an interview or attend an interview, that you have reached some benchmark with your education standards, but education is not limit, right? So every individual, now schools have started working, every student who is studying in a school is being understanding how LLM works, is trying to do some SQL queries, giving a prompt, generating queries. So that that level of awareness has been coming. Then we have to be very fast in adapting those new tools. So we should be, and when you build some POC, communication, make sure that you're presenting very well, you're demonstrating your use case very well. So this demonstration, this communication will make and give clarity and give some judgment how better you are and how outstanding you are when it comes to your competitors. So these are the areas that you need to focus while you're building. It's not about technical thing, or it's not about something. People who doesn't have much technical knowledge and have a good communicative skills are are doing a better in the organizations with good salary. Only the key part is communication. How are you communicating? That's very important. And definitely, I might be repeating a few things like cost awareness, and definitely these are the keywords that you need to talk. But it's not so important as a beginner. But at the same time, having that kind of awareness, there is no harm, and it will be a unique representator or unique presenter during your interview calls. So the only key thing is, even Sai Pranay called out the same thing, that learn fast. Okay. Now the systems, now they are looking for someone who can orchestrate the system. Okay. So companies are looking for orchestration, then the building, designing the pipeline and everything has been, regularly being used and have been implemented for past 4 years when GPT APIs came into the picture. So they came up with RAG instead of going to fine tuning. Now they came up with graph RAG, which can bring down which can improve the accuracy and bring down the hallucination. So now there are a lot of research things going behind. If we do not start, or if we don't learn very faster, then someone would also come with orchestration things, right? So there are many tools. If you have heard about Devin, a software, there are few enterprises who has been purchased and using Devin as a software agent, which will raise a PR request when you push the report to your production. So Devin is already doing with just the prompt instructions, it is trying to go and clone your repo and work functional level. It is trying to build some functional level implementations and raising a PR to the lead. And the lead is reviewing the PR and he is trying to approve the PR. And if something is going fault, then definitely he is changing the prompt and Devin is reworking on those functions. So Devin is a software engineer and you must have heard about an AI software engineer. So now enterprise started using AI software engineers who can do an additional work instead of having a human who is delaying the process. You understand what I'm saying? So please try to focus in that area. You should be a better person than someone, an agent who is repeatedly doing some mistakes. So you should have that kind of understanding, that kind of curiosity. If you don't have curiosity, then you will not come up with some new thoughts. You will not understand if something is going wrong, then you should have that curiosity to understand why it is going wrong. So the curiosity is a key thing that will bring the interest to learn new things. Okay. Then what is a big shift? Okay. Big shift is companies hire people who will increase the team capability, who will automate the workflows to bring down the time and cost, to build reusable AI systems which will improve the productivity across the departments. So make sure this is a big shift that is going to happen in coming years. And there are a lot of investment which is being implemented, which is being into only AI because they want to automate the workflows. And this is not going to remove the jobs. Who are going to do these? These are done by someone who is having knowledge on AI, who understands AI, how it works, right? So definitely they are going to hire people to implement these automated workflows to improve the productivity. That means there is a lot of scope to get a new opportunities, new jobs. There is nothing like AI going to replace or take the jobs. It is not like that. It is definitely going to create new jobs at the same time. So make sure you have that understanding of how to learn and how to come up with the good strategy during your interviews, because people are very smart. They are being using many tools. Okay. Now let me review and recap all the whatever I have discussed. Okay. There is an era of fine tuning in 2022 where GPT has been evolved. And after GPT APIs or Gemini APIs or BERT model, they started using. Now they came up with something called RAG systems, and every enterprise started using the RAG. Okay. Now there is an era of orchestration. They focus on reliability, how consistent the results are, and what is the effect on the cost, and how to scale the model. So these are the areas now they are looking into. Now, there are earlier days you dump the static data and you see the success criteria metrics and all. Now the entire productivity has changed. Now they are looking work at a scale. What are the latency constraints? They are looking into some latency constraints. User will not wait for your response. User want a instant response. If you observe with ChatGPT, if it is giving a very late response, you will not wait, right? Like you have that curiosity to get it very, very quickly, and you feel some anxious if it is taking time. And after some time, if it is not giving the prompt, you try to do retry and you log out, log in. You do several activities, but you will not give a wait time, right? So wait time is very, very important for a user, and you have to definitely bring down the latency. For this, you really require a good system architect who can work on the latency. And how can you bring down the latency? If you do not have where to optimize the model, you will not understand, right? So the core concepts that you need to understand to bring down the latency: how you handle the streaming data. So this is the another area that you need to look into. Token minimization. So these are I'm trying to deep dive into conceptual aspects, but at a high level, you need to understand how system works and how you optimize the system. So this is the only bigger statement that I can give. Okay. Now, pillar number one, as I mentioned, 70% of the area is covered by data engineer because every enterprise is looking for someone who can design the pipeline. You have your raw sources, you build your ETL streaming pipelines, and you create your vector database. On top, if the efficiency or the consistency or the results are not accurate, then you do some additional additional concepts that you can implement, like hybrid search or dense vector or sparse keywords. So many concepts come into the picture before you talk to LLM. So these are the area which plays a very key role, and every enterprise is looking for this area. Now there is another part and another pillar that I need to talk about is now advanced inference optimization. Now you use an API and you handle the request payloads. For example, 100 users are hitting the same API. Now you have to handle that request for 100 users in a single point. And where are you deploying the model? What kind of model it is? Every enterprise will not provide you GPUs. They might have some pods with some memory. Then what you are going to do? So these are the things that you need to focus. You need to understand where the API calls are happening. How are you handling? How are you observing those requests, and what kind of situations it is failing? What is parallelism? What is 5D parallelism? There is a new thing, 5D parallelism. How are you optimizing this parallel request? So this is the another area that you need to look into. Now, the third pillar that you need to understand is costing and engineering economics. Now you have a raw input and the tokens coming as a context. And what are the techniques that you can that compress the entire routing architecture so that there additionally you can implement some caching layer instead of going and talking to LLM always. Okay, there is some, you can implement several techniques. All these techniques and all this information will only come up with your knowledge when you implement a POC or you start working on any use case. So, and I don't know that you can implement a caching layer until and unless I see some inconsistency. So the curiosity that I have built in me, when I see some inconsistency in my response from an LLM, then I go and find the resources or research work. I do some research work to understand how to improve the consistency. Then if you go and ask GPT, then it might tell that, okay, implement a caching layer that can improve your consistency. So this is how, you get additional information. Then I go and talk to GPT or my leaders. Okay, I want to implement a caching layer. Then how do I implement a caching layer in my existing system? Then you talk to your architect, or if you are an architect, you come up with a certain pipeline that can implement caching layer. So this is the dimension that you have to think when you see any failure. First, at a very initial step, building a POC is not only a stop point. After building POC, you have to understand the several areas where the model will fail and how accurate the model is. After getting that metrics, and if it is failing in certain areas, how to improve the model. This is how you need to think. And for every cause, you will have subsequent information or failures or achievements. So you have to note all these points. These are the talking points during your interviews. Okay. Now, coming on to the fourth pillar that I've been telling about, you directly do not go to production. You will see the evaluation centric framework and you'll see the evaluation, how it is failing, where it is failing, how to improve the model. Is there some tools that you can implement? Not every enterprise will allow to use frameworks. They might ask you to build a framework, a minimal framework that you can achieve a good metrics and that will justify your model. So, all these will come when you start understanding and implementing step one. Then you will have step two, the consequences. Then you will figure out the failures. then you go to step 3, then you land on step 4. Then now how do you prepare for these 4 pillars? So you start understand the mechanics at the basic foundations of transformers, then how system will try to how the system works using some retrieval RAG implementation. Then you set some limitations, you understand the failures. Okay, then you go with the complex architecture, you scale the model, then you build your infrastructure, then you look into the data quality, you validate the data quality. Okay, then you come across the deployments, then you try understanding where can I host my model to scale better, to handle the input request. So these are the things that you have to look into. And at the final stage, when you are evaluating a model, you should understand where the model is getting drift and what are the pipelines that I can set to understand the drift, and is it drift more, or what is the percentage of drift that is happening during my deployment and during my inference pipeline. So these are the things that you need to look into after this. Okay, in after implementing till deployment, if you have implemented any use case using GPT APIs or any LLM APIs, then on top of it, you come across agentic architectures, which will take the decisions. Then you look into the governance and safety, whether it is very pretty safe, or do I have to take care of something? Is there some bias happening or any data leakage happening? Then you go and push it to your GitHub and demonstrate it very well, how orchestration works, and where are the key areas that you need to focus. And honestly saying, if you cover all these areas, whatever the time bound of your interview, maybe it is 1 hour, 1.5 hours, it is not really sufficient if you have good knowledge. The interviewer will keep asking questions and you keep interacting the questions, and you will never feel that it's 1 hour interview. So that much of interaction would happen during, I personally experienced such an interviews. So you will definitely enjoy the interviews. You will never feel burdened, and you will never get anxious before your interview. You will be very cool and calm because you have pretty much covered all the areas. Now build a repository and market your resume with a good README. And if somebody is searching for keywords, then your README should populate there. So such a kind of README you have to build, and you should have those benchmarking in your READMEs. That way you build your public profile and you show your proof, how many use cases that you've been worked and different areas that you've been worked. Now, human skills are the key strategy when you communicate your technical skills, and that will bring value to you and your organization and during your interviews. So make sure you have a good communication skills, and understanding the concepts, presenting the concepts are very, very important, and that will bring a key value while you are presenting any use case. Okay, it might be to your leaders, it might be to your interview. See how an interviewer will decide that this guy is a right fit in 45 minutes. Okay, when you talk, when your talking points and when your concepts are making sense in that 45 minutes, then he will decide that, yeah, this guy is a right fit. If you run around the bush and you are not talking the actual point, what is he looking into, then it is straight away telling that you're not at all fit to the position, or you're not coming in his direction, right? So they look someone who is coming straight to the point with conceptually and making him understand why is this concept is completely making sense while you are implementing something. So they look for someone who comes straight to the point and conceptually strong. And though you might be technically very strong, but if you're unable to communicate it well during that 45 minutes, then whatever the struggle that you have been putting to build any POC, understanding, documenting, having a good README doesn't matter unless and until you communicate it during your interviews. So make sure you have proper communication, proper understanding, what you have to deliver and what you have to present during your calls. Now, in 2026, the job market is having different types. So you have someone, Gen AI engineer who focuses on track pipelines and, optimization and evaluation framework, and someone who is architect who is trying to uh, design a system, okay, which can trade off and scale the system, okay, and AI product engineer, someone who is bridging the business impact and system reliability. See, business impact is very, very important. Without business, there is no position open, right? So you have to, the communication is very important to make business understand how valuing your use cases to your organization. Then finally, I want to tell that you should be someone who is a capability builder, and you should be confidently stating that you have knowledge and uh, you are a person who give more productive to your company. Okay, so this kind of mindset will definitely bring a value to your resume, to you during your interviews, during your demonstration. With this, I just wanted to stop, and happy to take questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhinav. I know it's very detailed explanation and the real facts. It's not like make you all scared. There are like from our course, if we can learn and if we can able to present at least 30 to 40% in an interview, I think you will be in getting success. So definitely not all company is looking for 100% knowledge. There are companies looking for who knows in and out, who can learn and implement their, agentic or AI agents related automations and all. There are multiple roles coming across technical side and non-technical side, and I will be introducing two more non-coders as well. I know it is late. We want to deliver what we planned for today. Yeah, but I request the other mentors. There are three more mentors. Yeah, please try to limit your time 5 to 10 minutes. We are planning to conduct another second session. Yeah, if it benefits to everyone, mostly in this month or maybe next month, so that so we will cover other mentors also. Ravi Gaur, I think can you cover it in next 5 minutes and then yeah,
Sure,
I want to I want to introduce your product knowledge and all so
sure.
that it benefits to the people. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Can you hear me okay, Ram?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, let me share screen real quick. I'll keep it short. I know you guys have heard a lot of, you have a lot of information already. So I'll just focus on something very, very specific, right? I think the mentors prior to me have talked about what you need to prepare, how you need to position yourself, what technologies, tools, how you categorize, all great stuff, right? But end of the day, it doesn't matter like what kind of skills you have, the depth you have, the breadth you have. If you don't fully understand how things work in enterprises, because large enterprises are the ones that are doing most of the hiring or probably will do most of the hiring. Um, so I wanted to kind of introduce that perspective, right? So I'm not going to go into what Gen AI tools are there. I think everybody covered those topics to death. So I'm just going to stick to the enterprise view, right? If you're talking to a C-level executive, if you're talking to somebody like a senior director who is planning to get a win for their team and go showcase it to their C-level executives, this information will help you out, right? Again, you might not be the C-level executive, you might not be the senior director, but you need to know what and how they think so you can also cater to their requirement, right? So having said that, let me get started. So in the enterprise world, a couple of years ago, enterprises were asking, should we explore AI, right? It was relatively new. They weren't sure what it can and cannot do, privacy, data, security, compliance, a ton of stuff, right? The Fortune 500 companies did not become Fortune 500 in a day or two, right? They built a career, they built a reputation, they built a brand name. They don't want to chase the next shiny thing. That was the situation 2 years ago, at least a couple of years ago, right? Today, every single enterprise that I know of, or at least I have connections in, they're asking the only question, how fast can we move? It's no longer a question of should we explore AI? The question is now, how fast can we move? Why aren't we leveraging AI so we can move faster? Okay. That's how the conversation has changed. Um, So as a segue from my previous slide, basically the enterprise AI moment is now. It is happening. It's not going to happen. It is happening. There are certain industries where the adoption is a little slow, but it's not because they don't trust the AI, they don't want to get on the AI. They have to consider certain things like compliance, security, privacy more than the rest of the enterprises, right? So McKinsey is already saying 72% of the large enterprises have deployed AI, they're leveraging AI. The gap between the leaders and the folks who are still contemplating is widening, and it's widening fast. This isn't about chatbots. If you guys remember, prior to this whole AI being a thing, there were like chatbots on every website, your internet service, your payment services, your credit card, customer service, everything had a chatbot, and people just, you know, really didn't like it, and they thought that was AI, right? Because they kept saying it's an AI-powered chatbot. So this isn't about chatbots anymore. It is about rewiring how things work, right? I think a lot of mentors prior to me had covered the different aspects, the different swim lanes, if you will, of how AI is changing each and every horizontal and vertical stack at the enterprise. So that's what I'm talking about here. So if you're wondering, like from a 10,000-foot lens, right, at the enterprises, where is AI actually being used? So a lot of people, a lot of us use it at a daily task level. You want to build a website, you want to learn more, so you're building an app. But from an enterprise that actually does business, generates revenue, caters to customers, and actually provides job to most of us on the call, right? We are employees. They're using it in the areas of customer service. That is where they see the most amount of value. They're also using it for software engineering, code generation, and reviews. Uh, 2x might seem low, but that is the industry standard in terms of currently what the enterprises, I'm talking about large enterprises, are seeing. They're seeing twice the amount of faster in terms of delivery cycles. Supply chain, demand forecasting and logistics, they used to have bigger and bigger teams. They don't anymore, right? They have relatively smaller teams with 15 to 30% reduction in cost. Finance and risk, the key item here where they're leveraging this is real-time insights, right? They don't want to be reactive. They don't want to be lagging behind. So they are using this in almost near real-time decision making. Okay? HR and talent, if you guys are going to be applying for any positions in the near future, or most of the companies even today, they use automatic screening for resumes. That's been there for a while. They've augmented AI for that. There are organizations that are also using video chats, or video AI interviews where the AI analyzes not only your responses, you're actually being interviewed by an AI. They're analyzing your responses, your body language, your eye movement, like 100,000 data points, and then giving back a result. So the organization that plans to hire you is not spending time allocating a resource to do the preliminary round of interviews. It is the AI doing those interviews and giving them some feedback. Okay. So why do enterprises do this, right? What's the bottom line that they're trying to change for them? It's speed. They want to deliver things faster to customers. Prior to AI, they had to upgrade a technology stack. They had to hire more people. They had to hire rock stars to be able to deliver things faster to customers. They have to optimize processes. They're still going to do all of those. But right now, they're also leaning heavily on AI to accelerate the development from a concept to production that's in front of customer. Efficiency, if you are a newbie trying to find a job, it's getting harder and harder. If you're somebody who's experienced and out in the market, it's also getting harder because enterprises are reluctant to add headcount. The default is, why do we need it? You have to justify the headcount before we can even open a requirement, right? So they want to do more with existing headcount, and the leverage for them is AI. We have AI tools. We have 100 people. Why do we need to go from 100 to 125, right? You have to justify as a hiring manager. Market cycles, large enterprises are like the slow moving gorillas, but they're very powerful and they're large. But at the same time, you have the smaller, nimble, agile players coming into the market, delivering products in weeks, in days. that large enterprises often used to take months and quarters and years. So for them, it's about shipping product and features faster than competitors, and AI kind of gives them the advantage of expediting the speed. Customer value, again, the key thing, large enterprises are what they are is because of the scale, right? They can cater to 100,000 customers, a million customers, 10 million customers, existing customers. They already have them in their pocket. How do they leverage AI to personalize the systems, the experience, and how do they become responsive at scale to this huge customer base that they already have? So these are the four key areas that derive the business value. Remember that when a C-level executive is going and asking the board for some additional money, so they can invest in something, they always have to show what's the value the investment is going to bring and how it is going to improve the customers or the company's bottom line, right? So these are the 4 or 5 different aspects that they want to make, that they want to leverage. Okay? You as an engineer, let's assume you get the foot in the door, right? You take the training, you get the guidance from the mentors, you get the foot in the door. What should you watch out for, right? I think some of these might have already been covered, but governance gap, right? For example, I'm not sure if you guys have read recently, there is an article that came out that both the outages that Amazon AWS had in the recent past were caused by AI agents, right? It made an unsupervised change autonomously, and then it deleted an environment because it thought that was the right solution. It didn't extend its thinking to identify what else could it impact, and that brought down certain services in AWS, which caused a cascading effect, right? So things like those, like who owns the output when AI agent gets it wrong? Is there a human in the loop to kind of supervise the output of an agent? Autonomous agents are great, but do we need supervision? If the company decides there is no requirement, you're good, but at least you should ask these questions because you should have these in mind. Data readiness. Again, AI is only as good as the data it's trained on. So you can ask what kind of data can we train the model on? And more importantly, are we even allowed to train the model with the company's proprietary data? Shadow AI, oftentimes enterprises are slow with approving tools and technologies. So there have been cases where employees just go out and find a tool that they think is cool and start using it. I would strongly advise against that. You should never do that in an enterprise network on an enterprise asset. You could do your own research, but again, you should not be leveraging your company data for that. You could do your own private research, come back and make a POC or kind of make a case for a POC to your boss, right? Over automating too fast, anything and everything that you're changing needs to go out in production. We've already moved, a lot of organizations have already moved from monthly releases to weekly, to some organizations go twice a week, thrice a week. Some even agile teams go every day to production with smaller changes. But you should also think through will be opportunities in DevOps to leverage AI to make sure when teams are moving faster, how does the change management keep up with it, right? How do you know what changed before you publish the release note? Someone else is probably making a change and pushing it to production. So these are some things you should kind of be thinking about in a large enterprise because change management is very, very critical for them, not just to identify issues, but also for audit and compliance purposes. Okay. And I think few folks have already touched this point. Many pilots, many POCs succeed. The actual challenge as of today, it might be solved in a year from now. As of today, the challenge is how do you scale these, right? How do you scale these POCs and pilots to a point where the value is actually realized for the enterprise? Enterprise licenses are much expensive compared to an individual license. So they're paying a lot of money for them to be realizing a benefit of that investment. You should think through from day one. Even your POC should include requirements and instrumentation to ensure that you're capturing the metrics that will quantify because of this POC, because of this pilot, I'm going to save you X amount of dollars, X amount of hours, whatever the measure might be, right? I'm not going to repeat these. I think just going to close out with the closing statement. The question no longer is again, I'm talking in terms of large and medium scale enterprises. The question is no longer whether we should adopt AI, right? At the C-level executives, their only question right now is, do we lead the adoption in terms of AI infused, AI enhanced, AI augmented product development, or do we react to everybody else, right? They're too big to fail. So they're realizing this. They've already realized this. They've put in plans, steps, and processes in place to accelerate their development. And I'm hoping some of you on this call will be able to leverage those kind of momentums to find your spot in the organization. And remember what I talked about earlier in terms of once you get your foot in the door, among other things, of course, like micro level details are important. I'm not arguing about that. Macro level, right? You zoom out and look at this kind of stuff too. Then they know that you're a thinker beyond your keyboard and a monitor, right? You're kind of lifting your head up, you're looking out and saying, okay, how do I deal with this? Have we considered this? Governance gap, data readiness, right? Are we allowed to even train the model with our company data? Maybe in some cases it's okay. Maybe in some cases it's it's an absolute no. Okay. So, all right, teams, I know I had to rush through some of the slides, but I wanted to keep it short and hopefully interesting. That's all I had.
Thank you, Ravi. It's really very interesting. Ravi is a product manager in one of the MNC. He do develop AI products and he do market. And if anyone interested to leverage his products, please message me offline. I can give his contact. He's one of my good friend. We have been working from last 10 years. Yeah, offline, if someone interested to leverage his products in your consulting or in your company, please reach us offline so I can give Ravi contact. Okay, thank you all.
Thank you, Ram.
Yeah, no problem, Ravi. Manvendra, can you proceed your stuff?
Sure, sure. Hi guys, hi everyone. So today I will be sharing how we can, like everyone is hearing what is AI, how we can use it, what sort of things we can use, and especially for jobs and all. But I want to touch the point where everyone thinks like AI is that easy and you can learn the things from us, but how you can also bring income sources and like you have always heard the stories you should have multiple income sources. So I'm going to teach like how you can start freelancing with AI. And this is like earning with AI isn't about like you have to be an engineer, you have to be in the particular company or as such. You just have to think about how you can solve the problem using AI. That's what we all have discussed in the previous session by other mentees as well. So that's what I'm gonna use. I'm gonna like give you systems, guide you how to implement and build the system so that you can start earning something from the like there's a no timeline. You can even get a client within 7 days, a month. So but what I can assure you that we will provide you the system which works. And I've started my freelancing journey back in 2020 when there was a COVID. Before that, like 2020 beginning itself. So that's what we are going to actually learn in our session with the AI freelancing. So what actually is AI freelancing? It's not about building LLMs, coding models, or prompt engineering at all. It's all about workflows, building systems, creating chatbots for the companies, especially for small medium businesses. And the biggest chunk is lead generation, how we can bring the lead generation and improve them and convert them to like our customer if it's a product. And now there was data annotation still going on, but it's not at that scale. But if you are starting and if you want to earn from the day one, that's what I recommend people to start with, so that you can earn something like $1,000 a month, or it can be more or less depend on the projects. Like projects from Apple, Google, Meta, Amazon, like the big companies are also providing data annotation projects, rack system. And the biggest thing is how you are leveraging no code tools. And definitely you should know APIs, workflows. Like we will be focusing like the technical part everyone can cover, but I will be covering the business part in our courses. So that's why generally we recommend people to enroll in our courses. So this particular session is all about the information, what we are going to teach you, what you will get, whatever your amount you're going to pay. And these are the three the particular thing which I think are needed right now and will be needing for next 2 to 3 years at least. AI generation lead, like AI lead generation, I already mentioned how important it is. Like someone will pay you only if you can help them to earn money. No one is gonna pay you just to build system. The system should work, right? That's how AI lead generation comes in. And after generating the lead, the next part is automation. How we are automating the process and how I have done this in real time. In recent project, I worked with a company, so I automate their claim automation workflow. So I build the system, I build their database, dashboards, all. And after that, after building the system, you also have to optimize and document the things, which is important. If you're not good at documentation, then you will be like you will be living behind the money on the table. And for the documentation, if you guys can start looking for PRFAQs from Amazon, that is the biggest thing how you should make the documents, which I really like, which I follow from so long. And after that, like if you generate the lead, build the automation. And also as AI is moving so fast, you also have to focus on product building. So recently I worked on a project which was Kabo, a AI symptom checker. And we just basically use APIs from different models for different specific tasks. So you should know how you can use 10 tools or 10 like 10 15 APIs for different tasks and automate them and optimize them. That is the biggest thing in the AI and the AI freelancing. So also we will be providing you like what are the skill actually matters. I'm already talking about what should you learn, how should you learn. The first thing is first and foremost problem solving. If you can help me, if I'm a business, if you are helping me to earn $100 or $10,000, I will be happy to give you $1,000, right? So you should be focusing on what is the problem. If you are reaching out to any business, try to dig their business and find the problem and how you can automate whatever things you think. And specifically if you are starting your journey, you will be learning about prompt and all. So I will be providing you few prompts already which really worked for particular tools, like just say for Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, and much more, Lovable, Bolt. There are so many tools right now. And how you can use APIs and what are the things matters when you are building tools, when you're building SaaS product for the backend. You don't have to be an engineer to start all this. You just have to be focused and follow the system which we provide already in our classes. And then SQL database. Everyone is like we are having ton of data nowadays. Like if anyone comes to visit our website, fill out any information, reaches to any whatever things they want to log into our website or in our product, they're gonna do something, and then we will be getting few data from that. And you also have to optimize that data, because everyone has heard this thing, data is a oil, new oil. So you should know how you will be making that data a new oil, not just we are getting ton of data and there is no communication between that data. Because if you can't work on data, then you are missing money again. And apart from all this, as Avinav already mentioned, if you even have a good technical skills, everything you know, but you can't communicate, if you can't talk technical skills in the term of business, so there is no use of having those skills. Trust me, if you can't explain a non-technical guy how that particular technical tool gonna help the business, you don't know that stuff. So you should learn. That's what we teach. That's what we guide. That's how you will be leveraging and improving your skills. So how you can basically start? So this is the basic question everyone have every time. Even now, even you can start this on every weekend if you are working right now. If you are a student or anyone, You just have to, I would recommend giving a 1 hour every day, and after 3 months, I can assure you, you will be having a stable income from freelancing. So learn tools, start using OpenAI, Claude, Gemini. You already know all this, but you don't know how to use them to make that money. That's the biggest thing. That's the gap which we are having. And before going to the market, you always heard the term known as fake it until you make it. So to fake it, you have to build the projects. So we will help you. What are the projects you can make, which really works in the industry, and how what are the platform where you can find the work and offer your services. So once you have finalized what you want to be, like what you in which industry you want to go, or what kind of things you want to do, then we can I will be helping you out how to make a offer and pitch to your client or leads. And there are I missed this thing, but there are three types of leads. Because of sort of the time, I'm just trying to give you the brief, the overview, what it is and how it is going to be. And apart from that, I would say the free and the basic stuff is how you can get the client is LinkedIn, Twitter. These are the two prominent platform I recommend for the people who are looking for customers who want to provide their services. You don't have to showcase that you are a product manager, you are AI, like a scientist or whatever. You just have to showcase what you have done and how you can do for any other businesses repetitively. So, AI freelancing is not about being the smartest engineer in the room. It's about the person who can turn AI into money for any businesses. You can try this thing today as well. Try to call 10 businesses nearby. First, do your research rather than before reaching to out them. And if you offer them something, then definitely they have a pain point. You just have to work on the pricing. After that, if some any of the businesses shows the interest, that's also we teach in our courses over here. It's not just about how what like giving you the guidance, giving whatever. There are so many things you already can get out in on the internet, but we give you in a structure way so that you don't have to rely on any other sources. The bonus point which you will be getting over here, and like the people who is starting out, like doing the mistakes, like they start focusing on learning, like I will be a best person in the room, I should be having this particular knowledge, I do have to be good in Python backend, all whatever, it's the things are not even relevant. And waiting for the perfect opportunity, there is no perfect opportunity until unless you start doing this stuff. So, and also you can in the beginning for one two project, I sometimes recommend not to ask any upfront income. But if you know you can do really good job, you should go for it. But doing anything for free just because you are new or you are beginning, it's uh, you're not in the power like to showcase the customer, the business, that you can do that particular task. So you have to basically work on mindset shift. Mindset is the biggest thing. Even if you're preparing for the job, if you are switching your job or anything you are doing right now, you have to focus on whatever. You have to set your priorities. You have to build your personal roadmap, how to get the job, how to make your resume better. Whatever task you are doing, I prefer building a roadmap and then working on that and improving it on day-to-day basis. And at last, this is not last, but whenever you are reaching out to any businesses, the thing matters is the confidence, the practical knowledge you can show, and you have to be real. You don't have to show, hey, this is what going in the industry, I can do that and that and that, we can do this, and then we will be generating like millions of dollars every year. You have to be honest with them. I have tried this, I have worked on that particular task, and after iterating it, after improving it, after trying all other necessary tools, whichever needed for that particular task, and then that's what I learned, and that's what I can do for other businesses as well, same as yours. So you don't have to be like you don't have to learn from the textbook. You have to become a textbook. You have to build your system like a textbook, so that other businesses can read them and they can see that you know something, and then they will hire you for their work. Even recently, one of my friend got like $15,000 worth of projects because of the AI cold emailing. That's all he was doing, and he got it. So he sought for a month because he is a good big client. So that's what I recommend everyone to. That's how you have to be in the game. And once you enroll in the course, we will be talking much more about each and everything. There are so many topics which I have already missed because of the timing, but I can assure you, once you enroll in our courses, we will be giving you a proper system, proper structure. You will never feel like you are missing out anything. That's all for today, and let's hope everyone will enroll in our courses and we will connect over Zoom sessions.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Manvendra. So Manvendra is one of my colleague and friend. Yeah, he's very good in tools, AI tools, and AI agentic automation, especially on the freelancing side. And his knowledge, we thought like it helps for non-coders and product managers applying the AI knowledge. So he has been teaching with us from last 1.5 year, and we have some of the classes also uploaded in YouTube. Yeah, you can reach us if you have any freelancing projects. Manvendra can handle independently. He has his own system. Coming to classes, anything related to business or freelancing stuff, we have separate classes and separate plan is also going on. If you are interested, please enroll for the same. Okay. Yeah, we can offline communicate if any details required. Yeah, we have 10 plus mentors. Like I said previously, everybody came and explained. I have one more two who waiting and they will share their experience. Very good, my friend Megana, who has been working with me from last 5 years, and he joined with me as a student, and she learned and she improved, and she has good knowledge from data science side also in India. But her efforts and learning the stuff and all, she placed in MNC and she has been working from last 2 years in MNC as a Google Vertex AI engineer. Meghna, thank you for joining for today. Please go ahead with your explanation, 5-10 minutes. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Let me actually start by sharing my screen.
Yeah.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
So, to give a little bit of introduction of myself, I was a data analyst and a data engineer before, and to be very honest, from my undergrad, I was a computer science engineer. I did my undergrad in computer science, but honestly, I just never liked to code, and the era that we are in right now is like a very positive, like in a good era for me, because even though I know how I know the concepts, I know how to, like, the way to build an app or whatever that is. I used to just hate how the coding, everything works, like syntaxes and all of those things. So I was more of like someone who would focus on the solution, but when it comes to coding, I would just like not like it at all. And that's the whole reason why I felt like I wanted to move to data analytics and machine learning and all of that, rather than being a full stack developer, because most of the times in these areas there were like less of, like there are more templates compared to, like, like how you do it in full stack development. So I moved for that reason. But the entire thing shifted when I started researching on like whatever was there in machine learning, data science. It made me really interested, and like it made me really curious, especially when you like mathematics and data science together, you'll really love what AI and machine learning is doing at this point. So I really started exploring in that area. Like I kept mentioning that I didn't like how to code, like I didn't like coding. So most of the times I would look for low code tools to still build my app, to complete my applications and try to like work on them. So I mostly became like an intuitive builder at this point, like the title itself says. So I leverage a lot of AI to just break this coding barrier that I have and build the apps myself, and that's the whole way of like how I got into my job too, right? So initially, having an understanding of like data analytics and data engineering and machine learning, I would do a lot more on research. I would sit with every concept. I would actually sit and look into what it is and know how it works and what how can I leverage it. What is the internal effect of that particular package or particular application, all of it, right? For example, if somebody is telling, oh, convolutional neural networks, I would just not stop there. I would go back and actually learn what the neural network says, what each node is doing, and all of those things. How do they how do they learn, how do they use these machine learning techniques to do all the learning and all of these things, right? So this is how I I started working on AI. And then when the era of entire generative AI came in, it just made my life much better because I would just use AI applications, be it like GPT, Gemini, whatever it is, to make them as the tutor and learn as much as possible whenever something new comes, right? So how I would start is basically whenever I want to do something, I actually take the use case. That would be the first thing. So be somebody who wants to build something, like who wants to build an app or who wants to build a model or an agent, however it is, right? Whatever tools, like I pick a project, and then whatever tools that is required to fulfill that project, I start learning them through internet, through now we have a lot of AI tools like chat gpt or Gemini, however it is. So how I do it is basically I just sit and then I make sure that I learn everything one by one, and then one by one, so that whenever somebody is asking me a question, I would just actually respond to them with a lot of technical understanding, right? So I am more of a curious person who has to understand that application first before I even start to use them. That helped me a lot. And in my classes, that's what you will see more. Like I will not just teach you how to use a particular thing, but also go deep into what those concepts are, what we're exactly doing, and like from one when you're moving from one place to another, what exactly are you taking from that place and moving to another one, right? Like just let's say if I am building a conversational agent, then I'll just not show you how to build it, but also make you understand every aspect of of that conversational agents, why we are using a certain object, or why we are using a certain application here, or why we are using a certain API call, how do we do this, all of these things, right? So all of this in how I start is just by opening any of these generative AI platforms, because we are in an era where it's just not like only the person who can code completely can build an app. Anyone with a good amount of curiosity can build whatever you want, right? So I am mostly this person who started with leveraging all the low code tools like Google Agent Space, Google Dialogflow CX, Microsoft Copilot Studio. So these are the ones that kind of like are integrated with big platforms like Google and Microsoft, which I started to learn, and that's where I even landed the job, with Google Vertex AI. So I was learning like how to use these low code tools first, because most of the companies would already be attached to Google or Microsoft. They would want to leverage the AI tools that is already existing there, right? So I started there, and then I started learning how to use these tools. And then From there, I saw a gap of me only using low code tools, and also a couple of other packages that's already existing outside, which kind of increase the flexibility, right? Then I started being a vibe coder. Like, vibe coding is basically you using AI as a tutor completely and still code, right? So the lines that all, as a vibe coder, all you have to understand is how to review that particular code, to check if there's any problems with the code, or whatever the AI wrote, is this even working fine before you push that into production or push that anywhere. So you have to firstly check how the code is, and code is working. But I'm not writing any code at this point. AI is doing all of that. I am just reviewing the code. I'm just understanding what the code is. And even if some, in some cases, if I don't understand the code, right, I still ask AI for each and every line of why it wrote that particular line. So it's all about curiosity, and all about how you want to build an application, or how you want to get a job in this particular role, right? So like most of our mentors have already explained about like what are the main ideas to get a job and all of these things. So I'm just going to keep it short, and all I want to tell, and how I got into something like this, is by being as curious as possible. I would learn every application that comes out, every from the time generative AI has been out there. I have been following all of these big companies like Google, Microsoft, OpenAI, and what they're doing, try to grab those and make as many projects as possible, right? So I just sit, even if I'm just grabbing an API key from OpenAI and just calling an LLM, right? That also is something that you have learned. So when you're trying to explain this in an interview, you will have an end-to-end understanding of how you called an LLM, how you integrated an LLM, or like how you built an agent, and all of these things. So so you doing as many projects as possible would just be the best way to start your career in this, right? Now, my roadmap was basically like this, which I wanted to share it with you. Initially, in the builder phase, I just completely went on no code foundations, right? Like everything is just drag and drop, or you just click on something where you create, delete, and all of these things. So something like Bubble, Glide, Zapier, all of these things are mostly like you don't have to code a lot of it, but then you can just like drag and drop stuff and then build your application. So I'll be in a mindset where I know that I don't need to code, but I just have to create some value and build it. Like in this phase, I even had a couple of friends. Like I have two friends who are completely on the product management side. They are together building an application right now. They kind of started a startup which is basically built on these low code tools, no code tools initially, and then now they have moved to being a vibe coder, right? So what you can do is, initially, like if you want to just start getting into this thing, right, and at this point you'll not have you'll not you let's say you don't have a lot of coding coding experience, right? So getting into no code foundations and no code functionality makes you feel better in building something. You'll be in a mindset that you're building something, you're creating a value, and you will see some output which you will feel happy about. And here you need not have to understand any logic or syntax or anything like that. But then I saw a gap there, where there were so many things that I could do, but I couldn't leverage them because I was only stuck with no code platforms or no code tools, and only do stuff that they are giving me to the options that they have been giving me, right? So I have moved a little bit more and started learning about these low code agentic tools, which are like Copilot Studio, Google Dialogflow, or Agent Space, all of these things where I still understand the concepts, but they still come under like low code tools, but they still have like a couple of things that you need to do, like writing a cloud function or something to connect to something else and all of these things. So I started from there. Even there I used like GitHub Copilot, or like, at this point I'm very much using anti-gravity, Google anti-gravity. So things like this to just build that function or build that application so that I can just integrate with Copilot Studio or Dialogflow and all of those things. And here I mostly mastered on my prompt engineering techniques. When you're talking to an AI, you should basically talk to it with some emotion or with some context. So prompt engineering at this point helped me much better. So here I am mostly like anchoring the AI to build something for me instead of completely leaving it to AI or completely leaving it to no code part, right? So after this phase, I've gone to a mastery phase of being a complete vibe coder. Like for example, I leverage a lot of AI, like development kits like ADK, LangChain, all of these things. I start with one of these things and start building on that, right? So you will see a lot of templates out there which you can just take them and leverage for your own sake, right? Now what I do is, whatever template I see outside, I just get that template. I use GitHub Copilot or anti-gravity to start vibe coding. Like I'll just give my particular prompt, like, hey, this is the code. I want to change it in this way, make it in this way. And I make the and the AI just makes those changes. At this point, all I am at is to understand the code and make sure that I'm not pushing any malicious code or malicious data or anything like that. So I just make sure that I just go through the code and see where the problem is. Even if I like catch some problem, I can still ask AI, so this is somewhere that it's concerning for me, take it out or make changes. It will make those changes. So I'm literally at this point talking to AI to build my application, but I look into the code. So at this point I am not worrying about code. I'm not like, the basic functionalities, I can just push them. But in case there are some functionalities where I'm connecting to very, confidential databases or anything like that, that is the code that I, review and then push it, right? So my work at this point has become way lesser than what I used to do before and what I used to actually hate. At this point, I'm only focusing on my application and only focusing on all the security stuff, all the orchestration stuff, instead of thinking about the code. So for me, as a non-coder, I would say I would want to become a vibe coder than just get stuck in no-code tools. So this is what you will learn in my class, where I'll just show you how to use these, anti-gravity and all of these things and build your own code, and also try to run this code and see and get some outputs, right? So I'm this person who wants to see an output and then reverse engineer and learn everything, right? So when you're talking in a like, interview, you should just make sure that you're basically telling a lot about giving technical functionalities, technical implementation of your projects, rather than just telling that I did this, right? Why? Because me myself, whenever I take some interviews, I at this point I've not seen a lot of people asking you to just type in, like, give the entire code that works or anything. They are just trying to understand your technical ability on AI and what you did in your AI project, right? So at this point, you having a great technical understanding is going to benefit you a lot. It doesn't matter if you can completely code or not, right? So this is the phase that I am at, and I really like, we are in a situation where, even though we are in like a a bigger financial company, we still like, work like we are in a startup. Like, it's literally just three of us in the team who's doing the entire operations. So like a lot of people mentioned earlier, make sure that you know how to explain to your business users. Make sure you know how to like, build an end-to-end pipeline when you're building a tool, right? So that's what people are seeing at this point. So people who thinks that they don't know how to code, or they are not very much into coding, this is the best era that you can be in, so that you can focus on the application, you can research more on what tools you're using, what they're doing, and leave all the coding stuff to AI, right? So this is what my presentation was all about. The key takeaways would be, just have velocity over syntax. That basically means where start, like, wherever you can move fast, right? Whichever your strengths are, take those strengths and start, and then use whichever code is very comfortable for you, and then use AI as your tutor. Make sure that every, like, the coding piece is done by AI, and you can just make sure that you can learn from it, right? What is this piece of code doing, what is this line doing, and all of these things. And then you be the senior engineer or an editor or an architect who's actually going through and reviewing the code and making sure everything is okay. So you're already being an orchestrator at this point, right? Then the proofing, like how you use the tools, the logical thinking, the technical intuition, all of these are the ones that you need to focus on instead of syntax and all that stuff at this in this era, right? So this is a much more better way of learning. And most importantly, have fun, right? So if you have seen the recent OpenClaw, the founder of OpenClaw, Peter, he keeps saying that he just used like AI, like Claude, and Codex, and he just wanted to build things because he wanted to just have fun, right? He didn't mean to, like, oh, I want to get a job, or I want to do anything like that. But the initial thing that he wanted to do was have fun with whatever he was building, and then gain interest on, like, all of these like his curiosity increased over there, and then he started learning about a lot of things. So I would also encourage all of you to just start and then have fun. It's fine, like I've written here, it is okay to feel stupid when things don't work in the beginning, but you're still learning, right? You're still learning something, and then that's where the curiosity increases. And when somebody is asking you in the interview about all of these things, you can just make that change. The way you respond to your interviewer, the way you communicate, everything changes, because you have been having fun, you have been learning. When, like, you learn a lot when you actually like what you're learning, and when you're having fun when you're learning. So the way you explain to your interviewers also change, right? So you're not like trying to woo them or anything, but you're actually talking about your experience. So that makes a lot of difference in interviews also. So you will learn a lot of these things in our classes. So these are the main takeaways that I would give from my part of the presentation. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Megana. Thank you so much. So I think we are done for presentation for today. I know we spent beyond the schedule almost 20 to 30 minutes. So that I allocated for queries and answers. So the last link I gave is enrollment link. Please try to enroll it. We are happy to conduct one-to-one calls, or maybe we are thinking to connect another call for queries and session. So to get notification and to if you have any queries related to course plan or projects execution or hands-on training at office, so anything related, so you may be disconnect from now. So the best option is to either you join a Hub WhatsApp link, or you can join our enrollment link, so that my team can remind you, my team can send you all the previously recorded sessions where we recorded for the bootcamp side and project executions. So there are many records we will share. You guys can listen, and if you feel comfortable that you are learning something unique and something better for your career, yeah, definitely you can join our regular batch. So regular batch is like very strategically designed both for coders and no coders, so it helps in every career path. So yeah, I really appreciate if you guys simply leaving. You can just like enroll if you have something in your mind to learn. Definitely, we are the best, and we have been executing this strategy from last 2 years. And I can say like 20 plus people, already play, especially freshers like OPT, STEM, OPT people. So they placed from our side. There are many people who, got knowledge and got jobs, experienced people. Uh, Getting knowledge and learning knowledge for experienced people is easy, but for freshers, definitely our program gives lot of help, and we give you recorded sessions. We do market, we do help you in get placing the job. Whoever the presenters, they will help you in getting the clearing the interviews and all. So we recommend try to enroll and see. There are like 20 plus hours we are trying to conduct freely in the next March and April month as well. So those will be notified. You try to join couple of sessions and then for enroll. But for now, I recommend everyone to take 5 minutes and enroll. Use the link, enroll, so that if you have any specific questions related to your career or how to prepare or the recording sessions for even the 3.5 hours, last 3.5 hours recording session PPTs and the projects how we executed. There are many recorded sessions, so everything will be shared individually, and we conduct one-to-one sessions if you have any specific questions. Yeah, I'm okay to help you some of the questions for the next 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes. So you can raise your hand. If you want to talk with me and independently, you can fill the form so that I can help you. Vasanta garu, you can talk. Mentors, I think I know you spend a lot of time. If you guys can leave, I'm happy to. You guys can leave. Thank you so much. For the audience, whoever wants to talk with me, talk with our team, support team. Please be, I know you guys, patiently waited last 3.5 hours. More than 100 people still on the call. I really, really appreciate it. I think Vasanta Garu, you can talk and clarify your query. Amarnath Garu, I will give you a chance next after Vasanta Garu. I think she's having some technical issue. Amarnath Garu, you can talk if you want.
Hi, Ram Garu.
Hey, hi, hi.
Hello.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for the detailed session. But like most of the part is a roadmap for the AI developers kind of thing, right? So
Mhm.
I'm from a testing background, I'm a performance test engineer. Can we have one kind of boot camp to know in the current era, like what is the future of the tester, right? In terms of
Definitely.
performance.
Yeah, definitely. We have like 50 plus hours where it helps for non-coders.
Hmm.
We have like multiple tools. We teach anti-gravity, we teach Google Vertex AI, we teach Cloud AI concept, we teach LLMs, we teach Python, we teach tricentric test AI tool. Yeah, we teach like designing some project using the effective prompt engineering. Yeah, there are like many things we do. It helps to upgrade your testing to AI career, like AI automation engineer, or you
How do
can,
we, yeah, how do we
yeah,
integrate these things into our
we will
real
help you.
life?
There are many testers joined and succeeded. I can say like 5 to 6 people got succeeded last 12 months by
Uh,
learning, yeah, testing people. I
mhm.
think based on your question, I will see if I can conduct a 2 hour session on no coders also. Okay,
Yeah, please.
thank you. Please enroll, Amarnath.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, I
what I
have
can say.
already enrolled. Yeah. And
Okay.
also like, for the testers, like how the interviews will be there going forward, um, how we can integrate
Yeah,
this.
I think the test, the Tricentrics platform, that intelligence platform, I will help you. I can, there is one, my colleague who will teach 5 to 10 hours.
Mhm.
I will help you, Amarnath. You can ping me offline.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Your office will be open in the evening times.
Yeah,
Madam?
you can call me after 6 p.m. or you can come Saturday, Sundays. I will be here. Sometimes I will be on Fridays also. You can reach me anytime. Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions from students? Hey, Jayaprakash Garu, yeah, I recommend you to fill the form and we'll have a one-to-one. Yeah, you can talk, Jayaprakash Garu. You can raise your hand. I can unmute because I see that you, Jay, Jayaprakash. Okay, let me allow to talk. Yeah, please. Yeah, you can unmute. Jay Garu, you can unmute. Yeah, I think you can type your question or you can fill the enrollment form. We can have one-to-one meeting. I see that there are 20 plus people fill the enrollment form. There are like 1 hour before, but mostly we will be in touch with everyone. Jayaprakash garu, you can talk. Srikant garu, you are allowed to talk. Srinath garu, yeah, sorry.
Hello, Andy. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
So, what are the courses offered for non-coders, Andy, in general? Yeah.
Yeah, so in general, for non-coders, we teach no coding related tools like project management, data engineering, how AI can be leveraged into those areas, even testing. So, yeah, based on the knowledge we give, right? So you have to explore and apply to your current knowledge. So what I would say, like almost 100 plus hours we teach both from technical and non-technical side. So it's not like you have to concentrate on only no code side. The current trend is like you have to do effective prompt engineering, vibe coding, understanding about AI agents, understanding about multi agents. So even whether you are a coder or non-coder, it's kind of you need complete system knowledge. So that is the expectation in the future. So I don't see like developers really needed to code at this time. So the expectation is to understand how the vibe coding is coming into picture, how the prompting is effectively working in integrating the stuff. So when I look at every area, the manually we do, even for the LinkedIn, when you follow or when you message to your friends or when you try to invite 10 to 20 connections in a day in LinkedIn, that can be also automated using cloud. So I see like 15 plus years people also trying to automate using the AI agents. So it's not a big thing. It's all about your, concentration. It's all about your practice. It's all about your understanding the AI agents. Yes, with respect to system knowledge and IT professional side, you need to learn Python and you need to learn like how these API management, you need to understand like how these LLMs called out in your code. So those things you can learn easily because every Sunday we conduct end-to-end projects. Our architect Venkatesar, who taught in the beginning, he will be the one who come and teach end-to-end project. And Abhinav and Shaykar Master, there are other Megana, and there are two people who had to join, but they were not joined due to other schedules. But they all come and teach with different concept and different architectures. So yeah, if we there is a 14 weeks course plan. My team is trying to communicate in the charts. We can download and see what we cover as part of our programs. Okay. Also, you can call me to discuss in detail, Srinath Garu, so that I can help you on that.
Thank you, Andy.
Yeah, thank you. Anybody? I think someone raised and dropped off because that might be I answered their question. Surya, I think yes, Surya, you can talk, please. I think you have to raise your hand. I cannot unmute you. Maybe you're gone. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll be planning for a second session. But look at the last 3.5 hours. It is delivered very successfully. I'll be sharing the link, recorded link to everyone. and I will be in touch with whoever is enrolled and whoever is nominated if they have any questions. Thank you all for joining today. Okay. There is another hand, but I can please try to enroll the link. Please try to enroll. Please try to enroll so that we can in touch base with you all. Yeah, it's beyond the time. We initially planned for 3 hours, but it went up to 4 hours. Appreciate all you be in the call. Thank you. Thank you.